Hey guys, Anthony, Not Cool in High School podcast. We have a cool show tonight. We got Billy Trey joining us on the phone, Bree on the phone, Andy, myself, Tony, and Ben. We're going to start the show off with the PS5 versus Xbox Series X talk about what we're excited for with each system, and maybe come up with some theories of our own. Around the 55-minute mark, we're going to get into what we're into. Billy's going to start it off, then Bree. Then we have we have the Murder by Dude commercial. Then Andy, myself, Tony, and Ben. Then we play the Talking Back commercial, and then we end the show with some Animal Crossing. I know we said we were gonna do some a topic this week earlier in the show when you're listening, but we decided because we ran a little long, we nixed the topic, and we'll do one next week because we are still getting in a flow of not being on the table, so it does go a little longer, and conversations sometimes get a little choppy because we are over the phone. So just be patient. So here's our next episode. We're back. Last week was episode 50. We didn't even realize it, so we didn't even acknowledge it. But episode 51, we're growing. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and tuning in with us. Hopefully we're being entertaining during this crazy time. But we'll see you soon. Here's the look alive, and we'll see you after the music. Hey guys, this is Anthony, Not Cool in High School. We're back. We got another full lineup here. We got Bree and Mark on one phone.
Hello.
Yo.
Yep. And then we got Ben on the phone.
Yep, I'm back.
Andy.
Hello.
Hello.
I am also on a phone.
And then Billy Trey is joining us tonight.
What's
The
good?
scumbag sells all of his village stuff in Animal Crossing.
Well, we're scumbags together. So we're gonna do our normal talk. We're gonna talk about what we're playing. Spoiler alert: it's probably gonna be a lot of Animal Crossing talk going on. That's kind of our group thing right now. It's helping us get over this COVID-19 lockdown. I've been playing some games. I got some stuff on sale. And then we have a topic later on tonight. I haven't really researched it. I kind of just got it printed out, and I'm just going to kind of read off what I printed. So it may be a little sloppy because it was very rushed. I'm not going to lie. But it's one I was sitting on for a while. I'm going to do Lucille Ball. So I Love Lucy is going to be our tonight's topic. And that's pretty much, we'll fill it up in between there. But the way I want to kick off the show is we were on Facebook, and we had a little debate about this holiday season is going to be a big one when it comes to the consoles, because you're going to have the new PlayStation 5 versus Xbox One Series or Xbox Series X. Yeah. Not the Xbox One Series X. That would be silly. And, of course, I had to tell people, because some people came in the chat and they're like, F that both them, bro. PC Master Race. I'm like, yeah, I knew you were going to come do that. You're awesome. Or people are like, I rather Nintendo. Cool. That's what we're debating. Thanks for bringing that to the table. So the first thing I want to do, we'll get into a little bit of the debate again, or kind of talk about it. I may be the only solo Xbox guy in the panel, but I'll do my best. The new controller laid out. At first, I thought it wasn't buttons. I thought it was like a touchscreen. That's not the case. They are actual buttons. This is the way the controller. Someone's
You're
clicking.
talking the PlayStation one.
Yes, I'm sorry. Somebody was clicking around. It was distracting. Sound like someone's clicking a pen. Yeah. Anyway, so the new PlayStation controller, it's kind of got more of a rounded shape. It does resemble an Xbox controller, and it's kind of two-toned. So it's got the white and the black. No light bar on the front. The light bar is kind of surrounding the touchpad where the touchpad would be. So it's a little more hidden of a light bar, but it is a blue illuminated light bar on a pretty much all white controller with the with a little bit of with a black outline on the bottom and wraps around the bottom aspect of it. So the first question I want to pose to you guys is we'll kind of kick off our theories or maybe some ideas or put an idea out there. What color do you think this system's going to be this year?
Black and white.
Do you think it's going to be predominantly a white system? Because that's kind of where I'm leaning.
No,
I think it's going to be you think mostly black with a white controller?
Yes. Well, with white, just like the color controllers, imagine that across the whole system.
So you think?
I think it's going to match the controller too.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think it's going to be a black and white controller. But do you think it's going to be predominantly white on the system or predominantly black?
Oh,
I'm going to go with white.
I think white as well.
Controller. I don't like that though. I think they should go gray like the PlayStation 1.
That's what I always liked that gray look. I thought it looked cooler and it aged better. Sometimes white systems and white controllers get a little gunky looking.
Well, the controller that they showed off, is that like the actual definitive
Yes, that is the controller.
I believe so, yes.
The finished controller. It's not just like, oh, this is what we have right now.
Nope, that's the controller. So they're kind of doing the same format that they always do. They kind of show off a controller, and then about 3 or 4 months now, they will show off a system and stuff like that. Yeah. I've been reading a lot up on it because I'm definitely interested in how this is all going to play out. I eventually will own both systems, but day one,
same here.
Day one, I will go out and buy the Xbox first.
What? Are they both coming out at the same time, or is one getting the jump on one?
They are both coming out holiday season, is all we know.
Okay, so maybe one might be out a month before another one.
Yes. PlayStation, there is rumors. It's all rumor and speculation, but there's some people saying that with this whole COVID-19, PlayStation may be behind a little bit, so it may get delayed. Everything from Xbox's camp is saying crazy things can happen and it can get delayed, but they said they are on schedule and they are still shooting for a full worldwide release on holiday 2020 because they don't want to make the same mistake they did last year where they only released in UK and Australia. Pretty much everyone got it except Japan, and then Japan they fell really far behind because it took 9 months for the system to hit Japan, and PlayStation hit Japan right away, and then all those JPR.
They want to have a proximity with it, everyone gets it, within a certain time frame versus the lag.
Yep,
which makes sense.
Well, they don't want the entire one half of the world being, hey, this new system's fantastic, and then one whole country is like, well, what the fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it ain't fair.
Because listen, that 9 months they took off. Not going to Japan right away, just how you guys are. You said during on the live stream, you're more RPG, JRPG type games. They all went to PlayStation because they had a whole 9-month jump that they can produce their games on that system. Xbox is trying to. Phil Spencer is trying with Xbox is trying to right those wrongs. So they are doing a lot of work with Japan to try to bring more of those style of games over. It's unclear of what exactly is coming, but they are because that was something I looked up because that was one of our counterpoints. So they are saying that is going to be something they're going to look forward to. We did hear Halo is going to be a release day one for the Xbox. Any theories? Yeah. Well, it hasn't been done since I think the Xbox. The original Xbox.
Oh yeah, 2 was on. Was 2 on the regular Xbox?
Halo, they were on the system, but they didn't launch day one with system. When the original Xbox released, it released with Halo 1. So that's the first time. Okay. So it's gonna be Halo 5 releasing day one with the Xbox Series X. Do we have any speculation? How many exclusive games? Well, let's put it this way: how many exclusive games do you think PlayStation launches with this holiday season when it comes out?
Probably not many. That was 2 at the most 4.
Yeah, I was thinking 2 or 3.
Yeah, I would definitely say the same thing too. It'd be smart for them to do 6 solid titles overall, but I think it's going to be less than that.
I think 2 is going to be a stretch because I don't know what they have prepared.
Well, they'll probably have 2 series things like Last of Us or something.
Do you think? I don't think Last of Us is going to be ready for holiday 2020.
No.
No.
Yeah, it might be. Gran Turismo. I mean, you could put one of them out. I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah,
not a
Gran
game I care
Turismo. They
for.
always do that though.
Well, we haven't had a Gran Turismo game in like 20 years. So unless they're gonna
Maybe
bring
that'll
a new,
be the surprise.
yeah, I don't know. They got to hit hard if they come with Gran Turismo because I think Forza has that. Once Forza came out, that's why Gran Turismo no longer exists. And I think PlayStation's very heavy on the what is that, Project Cars. I think they kind of, it's not exclusive to them, but they roll really heavy with that game. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm curious is what's going to launch exclusively with PlayStation. I know when. Go ahead.
I was wondering. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I was wondering if they might do Uncharted because I did see today that to keep people inside, they were going to offer Uncharted and then a game called Journey for free on their internet.
Yes.
Package that they do. That so I was wondering if maybe they're re-releasing it. Of course, to help everybody stay inside, but also maybe they're going to do something with that. One of maybe those two games for when they release later this year. I was just thinking that doesn't mean it's going to be right or anything.
Yeah, no, it's very possible. The only thing is I'd be hesitant saying no with Uncharted is because it is a Naughty Dog title, and I think Naughty Dog is full steam ahead for trying to get. I'm sure an Uncharted game is being worked on, but if I had to guess, their development team is probably more in the camp of The Last of Us 2 right now. Especially,
I would say maybe. I was gonna say maybe Infamous because the last Infamous came out when PlayStation 4 came out.
Yeah,
that's true.
That would be a great title to bring back. I was a fan of Little Big Planet, Mod Nation Racers, and Infamous, and they all just disappeared. Twisted Metal.
Little Big Planet
what the fuck? Why? How can we? How do we not have a Twisted Metal right now for PlayStation?
They were. Remember they brought it back for Twisted Metal Black, and then they brought it back again for just Twisted Metal, but it was not good at all.
Another title. It's a Naughty Dog game. Jak and Daxter. I was a huge fan of Jak and Daxter. Just disappeared.
Even Ratchet and Clank, if you really want to go along those lines.
See, I wasn't a Ratchet and Clank. I mean, it's a great game, but I was more of a Jak and Daxter guy.
I think they were very similar.
Yeah.
So one was like more weapons.
Yeah.
You guys remember Sly Cooper?
Oh yes, Sly Cooper. That was That wasn't. I don't think that was exclusive though. I think that was both systems. I could be wrong.
No, really? I thought that was a PlayStation exclusive because I remember not being able to play it on Xbox. Maybe
I'll tell you.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was. It was because I'm thinking of not Ratchet and Clank, but what was the other platformer like that? Oh shit, Rayman. I'm thinking Rayman.
Oh yeah,
Rayman.
Yeah, Rayman.
Oh,
Rayman.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Everybody loves Raymond.
I called him Raymond. Yeah, so that'd be interesting. I'd love to see. I'd love to see what they're going to come out with for this. The only thing that has me nervous for PlayStation, because here's the thing: we need competition between systems because when Xbox is playing catch up. And them playing catch-up has been great for the consumer aspect of being an Xbox owner because Game Pass has been fantastic. They went out and bought 15 exclusive studios, so games are coming. They're putting more work into their systems. They're putting more work in their dashboard. Because they're playing that catch-up, it has made them a better company. The only thing that concerns me is, man, like this quietness that's been coming over PlayStation. Like they gave us some specs, they gave us a controller, but I mean, like no game talk, nothing. Like this total media silence has me nervous. Like I'm just worried with it.
What if they plan to do more stuff with their Marvel licenses or whatever they have?
Well, that Marvel game is going to be cross-platform. That Marvel game that's coming out this holiday, well, not this holiday.
I know that there's a couple, but there's like two different ones. There's like an Avengers game, and then there's like a different one that's PlayStation exclusive. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's made by the Marvel studio. Yeah.
Insomniac, yeah.
Yeah, but Avengers is made by Squaresoft, so that has
so it's a different studio.
So,
yeah. So like, what if Insomniac has something though?
I think they bought Insomniac. Insomniac is now their title. That's a PlayStation Studio now. That's completely bought. So like, you may get Sunset Overdrive. You may get Sunset Overdrive on PlayStation now. And now you may.
Really?
I think because they made Sunset Overdrive. I was an exclusive for Xbox, and they bought that studio.
Yeah, I have it. That's kind of it was all right. I think it was a flop overall.
Well, the movement of that game helped them make Spider-Man. They said that's why They kind of
Really? Wow.
the way the game moved and the way the character moved, and like
the
momentum
everything
factor.
was set up good. It was very much like Infamous, but I don't know. It
was a little wacky.
Like,
it was like Infamous met
once you beat it, it's like, this isn't that great.
Yeah, it was like Infamous met Saints Row 3, but just not as good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they were going to make a Spider-Man 2, but I'm going to be honest. I have to go and play it again. But I got about halfway through, and I just kind of petered out. I just got so frustrated that I was getting my ass kicked by fucking scrubs, and I'm like, I don't feel like fucking Spider-Man. Like, these guys should not be giving me a problem. And the camera, the camera view pissed me off. You don't see anything coming. Like, if the camera would just turn on you, and camera would put your back to all the enemies, and I'm like, I can't see shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was just annoying.
Yeah. And later on, there's these guys on top of rooftops that they just shoot you with guns.
And they don't miss.
Disables people. Yeah, and you're just swinging around, just get shot, and you fall right down. Like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So at the end, I liked the game. I got so frustrated, I'm done.
Yeah.
I think that it was more of like a definite story builder. Like, it was such a great story. It could have been its own movie, I feel. As far as, like,
I heard the story's fantastic. It just, the gameplay kind of...
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, same with Horizon Zero Dawn. The gameplay it was so frustrating. I played it for 2 hours, and I'm like, I need to stop before I get frustrated, and I'm taking a little break from it, and then I have to bounce back to it.
Now that one I did everything in the game, so I loved it.
Yeah,
so that one I didn't feel like that. But if you want a better Spider-Man game, Spider-Man Web of Shadows on 360, I believe PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Yeah.
The
first mission.
Is that the one with Andy? Is that the one with you play all the different Spider-Mans? Like,
no, that's Shattered Dimensions. That's the one where you have
Shattered Dimensions.
And then and you can just click the left stick, and you can switch from regular Spider-Man to the symbiote suit. Yeah. And you have different powers, and you be good or bad. And if you're bad, then you get Black Cat as a girlfriend. If you're good, then you have Mary Jane. It's really good.
But yeah, the Horizon Zero Dawn one, my first mission I had to do was like a side mission where I had to go and find this girl's staff that her mom, or it was a bow, and the boss I had to beat got glitched in a rock, and I couldn't. He was hitting me, but I couldn't hit him. And then every single time I would reload it, it would like run and then run right to that rock and get stuck again. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, are you serious right now? I was so frustrated. And then, like, it was another one. Like, I would go to shoot something, and then it would be like, "Oop, let me go look over here." And I was like, "Why would you move the camera like that on me?" Like, it was. I was getting so frustrated. But the idea of the game was
very hard.
Yeah, the idea of the game was fun. It was just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
I don't know. I did everything in the game. I think I'm only missing one trophy.
Oh wow. Yeah. So
I
have to give it another shot. But so PlayStation, Xbox. I'm assuming. Well, we kind of talked about in the stream too that I think if you're more of a solo game player, like solo cinematic story games, and that's your thing, and maybe the JRPGs and RPG style games, Sony is your system. I feel if you're more of an online co-op or story mode games that are more co-op based, where you play with a friend and then kind of have that online experience where you play against a massive online group, I think Xbox is the better system for that.
See, I disagree, and I say this. I say most people play Call of Duty, and really, what's the difference if you're playing PlayStation or Xbox? You're playing Call of Duty.
It's going to be a big difference now because the Xbox is the more powerful system right now. So if you're going by just that game alone, then if you want to play the game in the best form, you're going to play it on the Xbox.
Have you ever sat down and said, "Hey, this frame rate is 126 rather than 150," and I don't like it?
I have played.
Does the average person get into that?
I have played.
I don't
I have played games that were AAA games on my friend's PlayStation 4 Pro and on my Xbox One X, and I felt it looked and ran better on the Xbox.
But would it make that big a difference where you're like, "Oh, I gotta go out and buy their system"?
I mean, if that's what you're looking for, sure.
An average player.
Yeah, an average player, not someone that's super into it. It's like the average everyday Joe that wants to play Call of Duty. They're just going to buy whatever system is cheaper.
They don't care because they don't see the difference.
I disagree.
They just see a game.
because when the Xbox and the PlayStation first came out last series, and it was PlayStation 4 and Xbox 360 or Xbox One, everyone jumped. Like the people who were on Xbox said, "I'm going to jump to PlayStation because it is a more powerful console." And that's what they did. They went for the power. And that was the whole thing they told it. We were powerful. Our games will look and play better. And now that the shoe's on the other foot, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter now.
I think it was also, though, I think it had a lot to do with the games that came out at the time, because the games that came out for the PlayStation at that specific time were like The Last of Us, which was a beautiful looking game, Beyond Two Souls, which another beautiful looking game. Like all those exclusives looked really good, but like then it became this thing where every game just kind of like was on this similar level of visual aid, I guess.
Well,
I don't know how to explain it. And then it kind of dipped down, I felt.
All right, hold on. I want to kind of hit you with something here. So, because that was a thing I looked up too. Where did people jump to the PlayStation 4 during the last console war because of exclusive games? And
I think it's price point. To be honest with you,
it was price point. It was a cheaper system, but
yeah, definitely that.
It was 100% price point.
You didn't hear my text noise, did you, by chance?
No.
No.
So
okay,
exclusive
like, oh my God.
Exclusive games that launched for the PlayStation when it first came out. I'm gonna rattle off a
Infamous.
few. Nope. Infamous was not a launch. Well, it might be. It's on. I'm going down the list now. I'm just gonna kind of go through the ones I have. This might be an exclusive. I just don't remember it. So, DC Universe Online was exclusive for PlayStation when it first came on. Contrast, Drive Kick, Flower, but that was a cross-buy, so that was like an up conversion from the PlayStation 3. Killzone Shadowfall, Knack.
Yeah, that's their. Knack sucked.
Playroom, which was a PlayStation thing that was going on for a while. Sounds and Shapes, which was an up converted game. And I think that's it. That was the launch window. That was the launch title games for PS4. That was launch.
That sucks.
That's very bad.
Yeah, I remember.
I feel like an idiot now.
Yeah, you're right, because when I bought it, I think I put it in the game when Infamous came out, and it didn't come out for like maybe a month or two.
Mm-hmm. So this is Xbox launch, right? Now, honestly, this is where when people talk about games, Xbox had the better exclusive launch games, but their price point was higher. And they had and they fumbled E3, which buried them off the bat. Yes. So they launched, not a good game, but it launched Crimson Dragon, Dead Rising 3. That was the game that you were like, holy shit, we're in the next gen. Because that was like a game where there was like 400 things on the screen at one time, and it was like, what the fuck is that? Crazy.
I mean, it was
Capcom title too.
Yeah. I had a blast with Dead Rising 3.
It was capped at 30 FPS, though, but they promised 60, which was weird.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It was a good game, though.
Forza Horizon Fighter Within, that was a Kinect game, so we're not even going to count that, but it was there. Forza Motorsports 5, that's a heavy hitter when you're coming out. Killer Instinct launched with the system, which is still a game that they're still putting stuff out for to this day, which is kind of nuts.
Remember, you got 2 characters for free, and you had to buy the rest or something like that?
Yeah, well, they kind of got away from that platform.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it launched... This is a game that got a lot of shit, but I thought this game looked amazing, and it played, and it was really, really fun. The problem was it was very short, and it had no replay value. Rise, Son of Rome.
Oh, dude, yes.
Never played it.
Yes, it was really good.
Yeah.
Isn't that a Greek Roman game?
Yes.
Yes.
You were like Spartan Roman.
It's Rise with a Y?
Yes. And then it launched with Xbox Fitness, Zoo Tycoon, which was actually I like Tycoon games, so I enjoyed that game, and Zumba Fitness Party. Yeah, garbage. And then it launched. Hold on. And then the other game that launched exclusively for the Switch, for the Xbox was we had Project Spark, which was a flop. Minecraft Xbox One Edition, which did pretty well, but that was kind of cross-platform. But it was the Xbox One Edition. There was a handful of Kinect games, but we're not going to go into that. And Titanfall launched with that system, which I thought was a fun game as well. Didn't have a story mode, but it was a good online shooter.
And then let's do Switch's launch games: Zelda and 1 and 2 Switch.
Yeah, you know what though? Zelda was so impressive that no one cared.
Don't need anything else.
Zelda was great. 1, 2 Switch, piece of shit.
What else? Oh, I got what was that?
Games.
I got 3 games at my Switch.
Snipper.
I got Snipper. Yeah, Snipper Clipper game.
Oh,
yeah.
Snipper Clips. Oh, yeah. That's good if you have like kids or
Me and Heidi played it. And
it's a fun game.
It started a lot of
game for adults. Dude.
Started a lot of fights between me and Heidi. Would you fucking get your guy up there? Why the fuck would you cut that much off me?
Anyway,
sorry
to sidebar.
Yeah. So one of the things I was also reading, well, not really reading, but I was watching a lot of interviews. The only really, I want to watch more on the PlayStation side, but once again, it's hard to do that because they've been so quiet. Phil Spencer's talking to anybody who wants to listen to him. He didn't say a price point, but he did say something very interesting, and that's kind of what we were going by right here, where it comes down to, he goes, I don't think it comes down to what games are going to launch at your system. I know people are very high on exclusive games, but he goes, when it came down to what exclusive games sold more at launch for our system versus PlayStation, at launch, our exclusives sold better than PlayStation's exclusive, which is true. We just went through the lineup. There was a lot more heavy hitters on the Xbox side. But that price point and coming out 9 months later in Japan and a bunch of other things and that fumble at E3 definitely hurt them. So he kept harping on price point. He said everyone's expecting us to come in at a high, because our system's more powerful, at a higher price point. I don't know. This is just my theory, my guess. I think somehow I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to take a loss, they're going to bite the bullet, or just because they're Microsoft, they can get components at a cheaper price than what Sony can do because they are more of a computer system. I think the Xbox is going to come in at a cheaper price point this year.
I'm going to put it about 500.
What's that?
I'm going to put it around 500. I think that's what it will be.
Yeah, I think PlayStation is going to come in at $499. That's what I'm guessing. I think.
I'm going to say they're both going to be about that.
I think Xbox is going to. I think Xbox is going to come in about $100 cheaper. That would be that's my early prediction now.
So you're going to put that for.
I think it'll be $399. That's my prediction. But I think unless PlayStation is going to be a $299 system, which I really can't see it happening. I think the lowest you're going to see a system is going to be $400, and I think
I don't know though, because like PlayStation has always been the consumer console. I feel like PlayStation has always been cheaper than Xbox,
except for 3. 3 was
except for 3.
They dropped the ball on 3 and they made up for it on 4.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Xbox is always so expensive. And I don't think it's worth all that money. I'm sorry, I don't. That's another reason I wouldn't do Xbox.
It shipped more expensive because they had to ship with the Kinect, which I thought was a bad move. If they would have not shipped it with the Kinect, it would have been the same price as the PlayStation. But
remember that when they took it out and then they dropped it $100. That's when I bought it.
Yep,
like,
100%.
Take it out. You don't have to use it, and it's $100 cheaper. Some people are like, oh,
yep.
This is great.
That was the management.
I just watched a video.
Yeah, that was the management who is no longer working for Xbox, who did all that E3 launch shit. They're all fired. None of them exist anymore at the company. But yeah,
I just watched a video on the Kinect, and it promised a lot, and it didn't deliver any of it.
Yeah,
so, even Peter Molyneux said that.
So I'm super excited, man. I think both these systems are going to be fantastic. I'm excited. Yeah, go ahead.
The Xbox, it's what they're saying. It will play Xbox One and 360 and all the games.
Yes,
that's awesome. If
it
yes,
and it will also use accessories from the Xbox One all the way up.
Really?
That's the rumor.
Oh, wow. That would be great. I mean, that's smart. They should, every system from now on should do that.
So if you have an old steering wheel, the rumor is it'll work. If like you have the old school Scene It game for the 360 and you plug in that sensor with the buzzers, it will work.
Oh my God.
You can use your Xbox One controller on your Xbox Series X. So if you have a friend over and you don't have an extra Noose controller, because the only difference between the controllers is maybe like kind of technical features like better Wi-Fi, better.
Yeah, they have different. I guess it would be like Bluetooth-esque type things, and that's why you can never use the 360 wireless on an Xbox One and stuff.
Yeah, but they're saying that it will work, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like it's just not. If you're in a bind, it'll get you by.
Yeah. If you can get Xbox One achievements and 360 and the new system achievements, I don't think you'll get
original Xbox achievements unless it's one of those games that they port over.
They don't have any.
Yeah, like so.
But, I mean, 360 and Xbox One.
Well, here's the thing.
Get those achievements and the new system's achievements. That's great. I mean, that'll get me to buy it right away.
A huge chunk of 360 games you can now get. You can cross over and get achievements, and they all stack over. There is some original Xbox games that you can play, and they added achievements to it. Yes.
Wow.
So you can get like the old Star Wars games and play them on your Xbox One, and they added achievements to them. They did stop the cross platforming about maybe 5 or 6 months ago to start getting ready for the new system. Once the new system is out, they are going to restart up, get a cross platform. So if there's a game, say like, just an example, Def Jam Vendetta, just put it out there. It probably never will happen, but like Xbox will contact those developers and say, hey, we want to put these games on our system. What do we have to do it? And if we're allowed to do it, can we convert the game to look and play better on the Xbox? And that's pretty much what Xbox is working on, and bringing original Xbox and 360 games to the Xbox One.
Well, you're talking downloadable ones, right?
Yes. No, like old school games that you can repurchase again at a very, very cheap price, or adding them to the Xbox Game Pass service.
The rumor they were saying is you can put the disc in.
Yes. Well, they're saying
awesome.
all discs will work, but they're also trying to do the thing where you can upconvert. Like if the disc is compatible for what they're doing with the digital side of things, it will convert over.
Yeah.
But like
if
you put an original Xbox game and it's not on that list of things they worked on, it'll play. And it'll play like an emulated game, but it won't have achievements and stuff because it's not a game they worked on because they didn't have the rights to it.
As long as they still play, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's super cool. I'm interested in see how that works out.
Did they show the Xbox controller yet?
Yes, it's pretty much the same exact controller except they added a share button. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's fine.
And they kind of upgraded the quality a little bit. Like I think if you buy a controller now, it's going to be a little more expensive because I think they took the D-pad off of the Elite controller and put that D-pad on this controller, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that controller is expensive. Ain't that like 120?
Yeah, and there's a new Elite controller that's insane. That's like a fucking $180 controller, but it has like
with the back paddles and everything.
The back paddles,
looks like
you can change. You can change.
That's almost. That's like too much. My friend has, and I was like, "This is nice, but this is."
I would have no use for those back controllers, but
yeah, me either.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people. Here's a question for you guys as PlayStation people: what do you feel about the Xbox turning around and saying we still use AA batteries in our controller?
That's sick.
I don't know. I kind of like the rechargeable thing, but like when I have my 360 going, I would just have rechargeable batteries.
Same here. I'm a rechargeable guy as well.
I had 4 of them, so I would just use them and then take them out and recharge them. So
now
if I had to, I would prefer the built-in battery though.
I would too, because if that rechargeable battery goes bad in your controller, your whole controller's shit then, because you can't pop it out.
Replace it or get a new one.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, as long as it holds like a very decent charge, depending on how long you play it on.
When those batteries go bad in the controller, that is fucking is frustrating.
It's over.
It's frustrating.
But I'm just saying though, the replaceable, the AA batteries, as long as it gives you a good consistent life overall with a good set of batteries, I wouldn't certainly mind.
I don't think I've ever used batteries in a controller since I've owned a 360. I just went and bought I would buy the stand from Duracell that you can sit your controller on and it recharges the rechargeable battery in the controller.
Yeah.
And if it died, I would just pop the new pack in the back and I would just keep playing. It took 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the best one is the Switch Pro controller because it has 20 hours of life.
Yeah. I want to get one.
That's my favorite controller right now.
I'm debating if I get the Switch Pro
bucks.
or if I get new Joy-Cons because I'm getting a drift in my controller on my Switch.
That sucks.
It's fucking
I ordered new Joy-Cons.
Supposedly, I think they might have a fix for that, Tony. So you might want to look into that first beforehand.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're trying to catch a butterfly that's stuck on a tree, and you swing your net, and it turns your whole body. And I'm like, "You motherfucker!" I'm screaming in my house. He's like, "It's not that serious."
It might just be dirty, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's.
I mean, not to say that you're dirty, but you wouldn't believe like
to say that you're dirty.
Thanks, Andy. I'm a dirty boy.
Like, I've opened many controllers that I've owned, and it's like, holy shit, look at this inside.
Well, I worked at GameStop, so I've seen a lot. You wouldn't believe the horror stories, man. You have no idea.
I believe it.
It's crazy.
Some people do not treat their stuff well.
And fucking Joy-Cons.
You don't realize how much dirt gets in like the side of your controller from your hand.
Ugh, I
like,
hated
you know
those.
how there's just like a tiny crease there. Like,
Yep.
that's a file. That's the worst.
I hated when 360 was all white system and there was all white controllers because they were just cruddy looking. And my little brother was the worst. His controllers looked like fucking. He stuck it in like he shit on it. It was horrible.
Wait, what?
Like that's how they would be all gunked up with like fucking Cheetos and Doritos and whatever junk food he was eating. It was all in the controller. Like I'm like, how do you even play a game? The thumbsticks don't even work. Like what the fuck are you doing with your shit? It was gross.
You ever see someone whose like controller like is so beat, like the whole rubber is missing off the thumbstick, and they're still playing? It's like, what? How did this happen?
What kind of Neanderthal are you?
You know, that always blows my mind with used games or like manuals. Like, what the fuck are you doing with the manuals? Are you wiping them with your ass or what? Like,
so
I don't think I've ever pulled a manual out of a box when I got a game. I never even took it out to read it. Like I just left it in there.
I know. I would only pull it out once and that's it. Like I'd be like, okay, I'm done. Like that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm interested, man. I definitely see how people are frustrated with the white, just because we've been there as Xbox people with the white controller before. But
I think they should start because the different colored controllers are way popular. Might come out and say, hey, here's it comes with a black one, pink. But here's 4 different colors: red, blue, green, and purple. Like something different.
I know Mad Catz.
I love the colors.
Yeah, I know Mad Catz made a system, a controller for the PlayStation that's literally, it looks exactly like an Xbox controller. Like,
I like how they do that.
Yeah.
Mad Catz used to do that type of stuff all the time. I remember that one Christmas when I think it was the second Christmas into the 360's lifespan or something like that, maybe the third. Yeah, remember when like the internet, like all the servers went down, and there was that whole like scandal with like the
when the kid hacked when the kid hacked PlayStation and then got a job.
Yeah, and then he hacked they hacked the Xbox 360 servers as well too.
He hacked. Well, PlayStation got hacked, and actual people's information got put out there. But then at the same time, that the DDoS attacks were going on, and they weren't hacking; they were just flooding the servers and shutting the servers down. Yeah, on both systems.
That sucked.
Yeah.
But I remember getting the Mad Catz Xbox 360 controller, and it was like this Atari joystick type thing.
Remember the Nerf
super
ones?
Sick, but I never used it. I used it like one time.
Remember the ones that were
Mad Catz would make cool stuff, but they were the shit.
They were horrible. Yeah, they did not work very well. I remember they had Nerf controllers, and we bought one for our friend who we used to beat in Madden, and he would slam the controller. So we gave him a Nerf controller that was literally, it felt like a Nerf football.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll do it just for that debate here. We will get into Animal Crossings after we get this. Go ahead.
I was going to say this. Who is anyone getting a system day one? I am. Whatever one comes out first, I'm going to get. Because that Xbox, if it plays all their games, I'm going to get that right away.
I'm getting the Xbox first.
I mean, if they both come out, I don't know. Like if let's say they both come out on a Tuesday, I'm like, geez, I don't know. If I swing it, I'll get both.
Yeah.
I know that when me, you, and Bree talked, Tony, I know I'm going to be a little bit hesitant overall with both systems just in general because, again, like being the guinea pig of things, you don't want to be that guy. So I'm kind of like just being a little on the edge when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I'll see how everything goes in a couple of months.
I can't do that. I can't wait 5 months and people tell me how awesome it is. I will kill myself. Xbox, like I said, I got really lucky with the 360. I didn't have a red ring until I replaced my system, and then my old one got a red ring. And then the Xbox One, I didn't have. I mean, the first generation did run a little loud, but I didn't have any issues with it. Then I got the Slim. Slim, I still have no issues with. It's actually being used downstairs as like Heidi's Netflix player. And then I got the Xbox One X, and that thing has been a beauty ever since I've owned it. So I will trust going day one and getting a brand new system when it comes to Xbox. I have no fear in that department.
Nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah,
definitely nothing wrong with that either. You know.
And I don't think you should have any fear as a PlayStation consumer. I don't think you're going to get a bug system or a Jinsey system that's going to be. If you have overheating problems at this stage in the game and we're this many consoles in, it's you have some issues.
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty common though. I feel for like the first wave of systems to be pretty inconsistent. Because it's just like, oh, here's our product. It was full-fledged for the first 100 attempts. Every system's not going to be.
Yeah, but they test them.
I'm just saying,
crazy
consumer-wise,
but they
tested the 360 ones too.
No, they knew. They knew 360
that.
was going to have problems, and they just kept it under wraps.
Yeah, fair enough.
They 100% knew.
Too, like the developers are thinking, okay, well, you're going to have your system in an open area, and like most people kept them enclosed because they're compact and everything else, and then
entertainment centers were popular too, where people put them inside their entertainment centers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. Like, I didn't get the Red Ring of Death until like I forget. I was playing Ninja Gaiden like when I came back from college, like 2 years later, and I ended up getting the Red Ring of Death when it all blew over. And it's like I had to end up paying $100 for it and sending it out to Microsoft to actually do it. So
yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind.
I think I was like 2 or 3 years in.
Okay, like
yeah,
you know, you didn't know, so.
I upgraded my system when the special edition when the Xbox Slim came out, and it actually had the built-in hard drive that you didn't have to click on a hard drive on top.
Yeah.
And I got the Gears of War edition one. I still have it to this day, zero issues. But the day I bought that system, Heidi started using my old one as like a DVD player. 2 weeks in, it just fucking shut off.
Wow, that sucks. I got the Star Wars one. Do you remember the Star Wars one?
It sounded like R2-D2 when you open it.
Yeah, and I sold the Kinect the day when I bought it.
Yep.
I posted on Facebook. I was like, anyone want to buy a Kinect? $50. You have to give it to.
I want to find the Gears of War Xbox One, this generation's Xbox One with the big scratch on it. I'm trying to find that one because I just want to have it to own because I have the 360 version and I want the Xbox One version.
I have a Halo 3 limited edition console yet for the 360.
Oh, the green and orange one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the green and orange one with like
cool.
Yeah, I still have that in the box. The only time I took it out was when just to see what it looked like in person.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, it was a nice system. PlayStation had a really they had the one that was the gorgeous one was the one that was it was modeled after PlayStation and it had the whole gray look. That system was gorgeous. But they only made so many.
20th anniversary edition. You can't even fucking get those anymore.
And if you do, they're so jacked up. Yeah. And then they made
the Darth Vader one.
They had the Darth Vader one was cool, but the Batman Arkham City one it had Batman across the top of the system. That system was gorgeous.
And there's a Spider-Man.
I have that one. You know what the problem was with that one though? I guess when they used the certain paint type, like if you touched your finger onto it, it fucking scuffed. Ooh. I don't know how the fuck it happened, because that's how like the Wii U was. Because if you touch that system, that's what ended up happening. It was scuffing for some reason.
That sucks.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
It was fucking shitty. I hated it. I'm like, but I keep it as a system. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I ended up cutting like a comic book bag around it, so I keep it contained.
Dog.
We got a dog
barking. So it doesn't get damaged.
Yep, don't mind him.
I was gonna say, is that the Brie house?
Yep.
That's my cat, actually.
I don't know
That's my cat. She's out of control.
At the back door watching something. But I was just gonna say, Mark and I are definitely getting the PlayStation.
Yeah.
When it comes out.
I will eventually have both. Well, let's hope this happens as consumers, gaming consumers as well. I mean, if you buy a system, obviously you're going to play exclusives, and your exclusives are going to be exclusives. But with this day and age, and I think Call of Duty definitely has made this a fantastic thing. Hopefully, it doesn't matter if I buy an Xbox and you buy a PlayStation, because say if a third-party game comes out, like an Assassin's Creed, and it has online, and you're an Assassin's Creed fan and I'm an Assassin's Creed fan, it doesn't matter what system you have because we can cross-play. Because I think we're in that day and age now where that shouldn't be a thing that holds back gamers because of what system you play.
It'd be foolish not to get into the crossplay. It would be foolish not to get into it. You know what I mean? So
well, the door's already open on a handful of games, but it just needs to, like, I know like sports games this year didn't do it because they had a lot of issues, but this next wave of systems, it should not matter what system you play. If it's available on systems, it's like, well, I don't want to say systems because I think Nintendo's kind of out of the race depending on the game, but because there's certain games you just can't really do on the Nintendo you can do on console unless like Rocket League or Fortnite or something like that. But these games should,
in a way, they're kind of in the league of their own, really.
Yeah, and listen, if you want to talk about an exclusive monster of a system that where their exclusives are fantastic, Nintendo is better than both Xbox and PlayStation.
I don't think anyone would ever argue with that. And they still have so much in the bank that they just have.
And you get a game and it's not broken. You don't need a day one patch to play your game.
Console.
Yeah, you don't need a day one patch.
They've been around for hundreds of years. They've been around for hundreds of years, so there's a good reason why the way that they are. You know what I mean? So
let's
regardless of what tropes and whatever you have with certain things that they do, and different games. Oh yeah, it's the same IP, so on and so forth. I mean, they have F-Zero, they have Star Fox, Metroid, they have Mario, Zelda,
Donkey Kong, Balloon Fight.
Is there anything else anyone wants to add to the PlayStation Xbox talk, or anything they want to add to that before we move on?
Before we move on, I was going to bring up, do you think that they're going to do more with virtual reality type stuff? Because the PSVR was awesome. That thing was amazing.
Xbox said they will not do VR until they can do a system that you don't have wires all over the place. So they're waiting for a wireless style system that is affordable. Because right now you have the Oculus, but if you have the Oculus that's the full version, you have to have it wired to your PC for it to work. And if you buy the $500 Oculus, you can't play all the games on it because it doesn't work. So it's like they don't want to bring that technology over because they've made mistakes with Kinects and stuff. They want to have
they did more of augmented reality. They didn't really do any VR. They just kind of
they just don't want to jump. Look, they don't want to jump into a gimmick again and not be ready for it. Is I guess what they're trying to say.
I feel like the PSVR did really well, but the thing was there wasn't a lot of games for it.
Yeah, I just played my first VR experience last night.
How was that?
I played an Oculus and I played a lightsaber game where it's kind of like Rock Band. I had a really good time playing it. So I have bad eyes. I grew up with a lazy eye. So sometimes when it comes to 3D or when I go to a 3D movie, it has gotten better when the glasses are just normal, but those red and yellow glasses or red and blue glasses, that doesn't work for me. I can't do those 3D shows when you have to wear those glasses. So we went to Disney and I didn't get to experience almost any of the 3D shows because it didn't work for me because I have a fucked up eye. But
I didn't know you had a lazy eye, Tony.
Yeah, when I was a kid I had to wear glasses, but actually video games fixed it.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So you don't anymore, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, if they put if they dilate my eye, it goes. I look like Debo from Friday.
Yeah, you mean Zeus?
Yeah, Zeus. But yeah, they if I'm I don't know. Yeah, so sometimes I get it like that, but that 3D stuff doesn't work for me. But just I guess the way my eyes.
I know about the current 3D bothers my eyes. The last movie I seen, I just couldn't stand. I haven't seen one since. Was
Real
the second
or whatever
Avengers.
It's called.
Yeah. The clear.
Climax Realty.
If I have to, I'll watch a movie.
If
I have to, I'll watch a movie that way. But if I can not do it, I won't. I'm just not a fan.
Oh yeah, yeah, me too.
But the VR was.
Ask you real quick.
Yeah, the VR was fantastic. It just played really here's the cool. I don't know if it was a Beat Saber game like this or if it was just in general. But when I wasn't standing in the game zone, I can look around the room in VR and it was everything was pixelated. It was really cool looking. I could still see around the room. And then once you stepped in the circle, you were just in a different planet. It was so.
That is how it is. That's how it's made so that you won't hurt yourself.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It was so much fun. I had a really good time with it.
And what's cool too is you can adjust with the Oculus. You can adjust it to be exactly the distance of your eyes and how tight it is on your face, and if one eye isn't exactly in the place it's supposed to be, you can adjust that side too.
It's made for cockeyed people. I like it.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, even with it's cool that gamers think of that, people with disabilities. I know that Xbox has that pad.
God, I forget what it's called. I'll look it up real quick. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it can, and somebody with a disability can pretty much play any game. It's crazy how it works.
That was pretty cool. I didn't know about that.
The adaptive controller. It's kind of so the base controller itself looks a little bit like a DJ pad.
Yeah, it looks like a DJ Hero controller.
Yeah, It has two giant blocks, but then you can buy adaptive other buttons, and there's a giant.
So say if
you're a giant
you're
button, there's smaller ones and stuff like that. There's mouthpieces.
Yeah, mouthpieces. It has so many attachments you can plug into it. So however you have to play, if you have to play with your feet, if you have to play with your mouth, it literally can play, and you can comfortably play any game. It's crazy. They were developing
19 inputs that you can add to it. It's crazy.
It's insane. I actually watched a guy online. He has one arm. He lost it in the military. I guess he's missing his legs and his one arm, and he plays. He literally sticks the controller in his shoulder and his mouth, and he plays one side with his mouth and the other side with his hands. And he's a beast on Call of Duty. He kicks people's ass.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really neat. All right, so is there anything else you want to add, Billy? I'm sorry if I cut you off a little bit talking about the VR.
No, you're good. I wanted to know your experience.
Yeah, it was. I only played one game, but it was fun. I could definitely see how when people play that plank game, how they freak the fuck out because holy shit, when you're in that VR, you're in there like. it's different. I couldn't imagine playing a horror game in it. I'd be like, fuck you. I would never be able to do it.
Oh, you would have been bad at Resident Evil 7, Tony.
Dude, I would never. I would never. I hate jump scares in general.
It's designed for jump scares.
Yeah, I hate jump scares.
That's all that is. They should just call that Resident Evil jump scare.
Yeah.
Resident Evil jump scare.
Oh
shit.
Yeah, so we'll move on here to what we're playing, what we're watching, playing, what we did over the week. Like I said, sometimes this category will be lower because we are back to a weekly show. But if there's anything that you guys have been into, that's what we're going to do here. We'll start with Billy. You're kind of our guest who hasn't been on in a while. So what have you been into for recently?
I've mostly been binging like a lot of Hulu shows for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just decided the one day I was like, I'm gonna just spend 7 hours watching Silicon Valley and stuff like that, which is a great show. It's about these people that kind of work at like it's about Silicon Valley and like, I guess they're like developers of some type of coding engineering thing, which sounds like really nerdy and boring or whatever.
Hold on one
but
second.
like,
is someone fiddling around with stuff? Like eating chips or something?
Yeah, I was.
Okay. It's like drowning out Billy. I'm sorry.
Oh, really? Okay.
Should I restart?
No, you go. You're Silicon Valley. We got
Silicon Valley.
Okay, yeah, so it's like super nerdy-ish people that are coding and stuff, and they're like coding for money or some type of event or something like that, and like, but the whole like premise is that like the one dude is a Satanist, and like there's a whole bunch of different like things that go on. It's crazy hilarious. T.J. Miller from Deadpool is in it. Isn't
the one dude from Parks and Rec that plays Leslie Knope's boyfriend? Was he in it for a little bit, or am I thinking of a different show?
That might be a different show.
I'm thinking, yeah, you're right. He was in Party
Down.
Down. He was in Party Down.
Party Down.
Yeah.
Party Down.
Sorry, go ahead.
He used to come on right after Game of Thrones, I think.
What?
Which one is that?
Silicon Valley?
No. Yes. Either right before or after.
Yeah, it was on HBO because I've been watching like that and this other show, Barry, which were both on HBO. And Barry's about like this, he's like an assassin that goes to California to, do the assassin thing. But he finds that acting is like his new hope. Like he wants to be an actor instead of a murderer. But throughout it, he like ends up going to like, one of his hits is like this lady for whatever reason, is like an older lady, and she's in like a monastery. I don't want to like ruin it, but like I'm just gonna say it. This lady in this like monastery thing, and he's going and he's like about to shoot her, and then like he backs out and he's like, I can't do this, because like the girl that he likes doesn't like violent people and stuff like that. It's just like a really good show. I think it's hilarious, and it's Bill Hader, who is like a Saturday Night Live alumni. So it makes it even better because it's a serious show, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, Bill Hader's really funny. I like him a lot.
Oh man,
I'd say he's definitely one of the last like really good Saturday Night Live people, because like I know Kenan Thompson wants to do his own thing for the longest time, but at the same time though, like Bill Hader had some iconic people that he played, like the Grenada puppeteer. Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And the smoking puppet, oh my god, you couldn't oh my god, I'd be dying laughing. It's so good.
So any other shows or anything you've been into? Or games?
I watched, I've been playing Animal Crossing, obviously, and there's this game, Valorant, that hasn't come out yet. It's like in beta. I've been watching a ton of streams, because the only way that you can get a beta key for the game is by watching streams that have drops. So it's like extremely limited, and
wow.
like
what's it called?
If you're not watching a stream, you can't get the drop. It's Valorant. It's a crossover. It's kind of like a mix of Overwatch and this game Counter-Strike.
Okay.
And so you have like abilities. It's like a shooter. You have so much time, and then like one team can plant a bomb or whatever, and then kind of like Rainbow Six Siege and stuff like that. So
okay.
It's a tactical shooter.
All right. So, Bree or Mark, what have you guys been into recently?
It's just me right now. Mark, he went to sleep because he worked today, so he's tired. Yeah, so sorry about that.
That's
he wasn't
okay.
in the beginning.
Well, what have you been into besides Animal Crossing?
Hey, she started a new game. I know she started a new game.
What's that?
I know you got a new game. I know you started.
I did get a new game. Yes, I didn't start it yet, but I did pick up Final Fantasy VII Remake. I never played it before, so I'm really excited to play it. If I can tear myself away from Animal Crossing, I will probably start that. But it's really hard because I've loved Animal Crossing since I was very young, since it first started. But I will probably start that game next. I love Final Fantasy. It's one of my favorite RPGs, like RPG series. So I'm really excited to start that soon. What have I been watching? Well, still Sherlock, on and off. I am watching Office the first time through with Mark. He's never seen, and I've watched it about 5,000 times. But that's probably, but he has never seen it the first time through, so I'm watching that with him.
How's he liking it?
Oh, he loves it. Yeah. I'm trying. I don't want to offend anybody here, but sorry. I think The Office is the funniest thing on this planet, funnier than Parks and Rec. He thinks Parks and Rec is funnier. I'm really trying to get him to admit The Office is funnier. That's my goal here.
I'm going to be honest.
I don't know.
So I love The Office. I think so when it comes to the whole entire show, I watch The Office like 10 times, and then I watch Parks and Recreation, right? And at first I was trying to do what everybody else did, where I was like, "F this is a fake Office. It's trying to replace The Office." And I watched the whole thing, and I really liked it. I'm not gonna lie, Parks and Rec is up there with The Office as one of the best shows I've ever watched.
So,
it's good.
Yeah,
it is.
But when and then I watched Parks and Rec probably 3 or 4 times now, and I just started rewatching it again. I think on like season 3 or 4. I think if it comes down to humor from beginning to end as a show, I think Parks and Rec was more consistent because the characters never changed, really.
Okay, I give you that. I
can
both.
see what you're saying there. Oh,
They're
sorry.
right about even, and I might give the nod to The Office, but it's whatever I'm thinking that day. I love them both.
Yeah, but they're both
really
fantastic
good.
shows. Yeah, they're both fantastic shows.
And I wouldn't say that Parks and Rec is trying to replace The Office, because
they're
not exactly the same. Yeah. They're not exactly the same, although they're done by the same people.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I think it depends on the kind of humor. See, I disagree. I think the characters in The Office grow.
I agree. I would 100% agree with that as well. But,
yeah, and I like that.
So, like, Pam and Jim are obviously your staples most of the show, and then obviously you could find one or two guys in The Office or cast members in The Office that you could latch onto, and then you're Dwight and you're Angela. But, like, man, Andy Dwyer and Ron Swanson and Leslie Knope and what's Ari Shafir's character? Not Ari Shafir. Fucking what's his name's character? Aziz's character.
And Perkins.
What's his name? I always forget his name in the show.
Tom Halpert.
Tom Halpert.
No,
Tom Halpert.
Tom, I love Tom.
Yeah, and then I was a huge fan of what's her name on Office, and then her the entire time on Parks is fantastic. Ann Perkins. Yeah,
she's better on Parks and Rec. I didn't like Karen. I know Andy does. I'm sorry,
Andy,
but I don't.
Yeah. I loved
like
Karen.
Karen.
If I was Jim, I would have stayed with Karen.
So sexy.
I would have stayed with Karen.
I don't.
If I was Dwight,
I
would stay with the dental hygienist from
Isabel.
Yeah.
She is literally the best person ever.
Who, Isabel or Karen?
Karen.
Or Ann?
Karen.
Perkins.
See, I think Karen's kind of boring. I think Karen's boring. I think she tries too hard to be something she's not.
See, I think she was more. I think she was more supportive of Jim and letting him do what he wanted to do. More than Pam did. I think it took Pam too long to let Jim follow his goals. Like, Jim would literally drop anything on a dime for Pam, but when the shoe was on the other foot, she always was like, "No, I don't want you to do that."
Yeah, no, I disagree. I see it differently.
And the last season was kind of not so good. It kind of went off the rails, but the same thing for Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my
I
thing.
agree.
Here's my thing with it is like, I think The Office had better writing comedically.
Yes. Yeah.
But then I think
their
Parks
writing
and Rec
staff
had a better cast comedically.
Yeah, the
Like, I
writing
think the
staff
cast
behind the
was
scenes
played-
of The
I
Office
see what
is
you're saying, Joey.
fantastic. Their writing staff was really
Yeah.
good.
It's a
Just
shame
like
they never did a
there's-
crossover though, you know, because they were both on at the
True.
same time.
Oh,
Yeah.
they should have done a crossover.
Like Michael
yeah.
Scott comes to Pawnee, like
Oh my god, I would have loved that. I would have loved that.
Supposedly
That would've been
the
great.
hidden crossover is the fax machine from The Office is the same fax machine that didn't work in Parks and Rec.
Oh,
Oh,
I
that's
can see
great.
that.
I didn't know that.
That's supposedly one of the
Yeah.
hidden things.
It's an Easter egg.
Yeah.
That's a great Easter egg. Yeah, I just love the humor in The Office. It's very different, and I have a weird sense of humor, so I like the humor in The Office.
Yeah.
And I've watched it so many times I've lost count,
Yeah.
and I still laugh hysterically that I cry still, even though I've watched it so many times.
We've
So-
seen
Like
it.
when
We've
Kevin
saw,
spills the chili.
yeah, we've seen it so many
Yeah.
times that Heidi knows what's coming and starts crying before it happens. Like because there's a lot of heart soppy love stuff in The Office too. Like there's a lot of really deep
Yes.
emotional connections there as well. So it's funny, but it also
I'm
does
the
tug
same
on your
way, though, too.
yeah. Heidi knows the fucking proposal's coming in the rain in the gas station, and
Yeah.
it's like 15 minutes away, and she's already sobbing because she knows it's coming. Or when Pam finds out she's
Yes,
pregnant
I'm
at the
the same
volleyball
way.
game. Heidi is
I'm the same
weeping
way.
before the show even starts. Like she knows it by the cold open. She goes, "This is the episode," and she starts weeping. I'm
I'm
like,
the
"We're
same
not."
way, though. I'm the same way.
Yeah,
I'm with her, though, so I laugh and I cry. That's one of the few shows that I laugh hysterically and I cry a lot, too.
Yeah.
Supernatural is the same way for me, though, too.
okay.
So, yeah. You have to get into that.
Yeah,
for those
Heidi
who
actually
have not
has an
watched it.
office tattoo, and I actually want to get an office tattoo
Really?
as well. Yeah, she has the teapot. She has a teapot.
Does she? She's
yeah.
a
Oh,
teapot.
wow.
Yeah, she's a teapot
I
tattooed on
want
her.
to get one, too, when these open back up.
I just don't
have
know
a
what
few in mind
I just
of
don't know
something.
what office tattoo I would get. I know my tattoo artist
I have a
wants to
few.
do a beat with Dwight's
Prison
glasses
Mike?
on it.
Oh,
I've
that's a good
seen
one.
that one before.
But
I've
I'm
seen
more
that one. That
I'm a
one's
gym
cute.
guy, man. I really like gym, so I have to figure like a
He's
gym
great.
tattoo. But he was
Oh,
kind of
there's
like
a lot of gym tattoos
yeah.
you could get. I didn't mean to cut you off. There's a lot, though, you could choose from.
Yeah, and if I had a Parks and Rec tattoo, I would probably get like a mouse rat tattoo. I just think it'd be
Oh,
funny.
there you go.
Yo, when he covers,
Oh, yeah,
I'm sorry.
Mark just finally got his mouse rat T-shirt he's been looking for like
Oh.
years. He's so thrilled. It's
Oh
coming
my
in the mail.
god,
He can't wait.
I want when they cover The Way You Look Tonight. I thought that was done really, really fucking good.
It was.
Because that was me and
It's a
Heidi's
band.
wedding song, not the Mouse Rat version, but
Aw.
The Way You Look Tonight by Frank Sinatra.
That's so sweet.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
thought-
even know what it is offhand.
it's a really good song. Is there anything else, Bree, that you guys been into?
So we watched the last Tiger King episode that was on. It was interesting. Very
Goddamn
interesting.
Carol Baskins.
I know.
Carol
you should- Oh yeah. So we watched that. That was good. We're trying to catch up on this backlog of movies here, so we finally got to watch Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Do any other Kevin Smith
I want to
fans
see.
here, or is
I
it
love.
Mark
I
Maron?
love it. I have not
I
seen
love
it yet.
Oh, so good. It's so
So
good.
good.
You know
Really?
what? I'm actually putting it in my Amazon cart because Heidi is we're buying it.
See, I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people say it's good, and I've heard some people say
Actually, if she's coming down right
If
now.
you're an
Oh, it's
if you're an actual Kevin Smith fan, it's definitely a good blend of like him wanting to have fun with his friends and then also being like true to the story, I guess
Order it.
is a good way to put it.
nice.
I agree with that.
How did you
Something
like
like
Chris
that.
Jericho as the clan leader?
Oh. Chris Jericho was funny. We did not know he was going to be in that. He's never been in a movie that I've seen with Kevin Smith.
No.
We're ordering it
That
as we
was a
speak.
great,
The Jay and Silent Bob reboot is being ordered. If you're looking, it's $13.87 on Amazon right now.
Chris Jericho's what do you call that?
A
I can't think of
KKK
the word
member.
right now, but-
Cameo?
Cameo, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, his cameo was really like unexpected.
I only know
funny.
what his cameo was because I listened to his podcast. That's all.
Yeah.
And people got mad at him for doing it.
That's funny.
We're like, what? We were like, oh my god, Chris Jericho's in it. What's he doing here? It was good.
Isn't
Why
he?
is he doing that
He's on the
cameo?
box art, isn't he?
You know what? Let me look here.
I believe he's on the box.
Let me take a look here. I didn't look at it too closely. I don't know if we have. So Mark gets some of these movies at the Dirt Mall. I don't.
So they're bootleg, and sometimes they don't have the right art.
So let me answer your question for you. Yeah. Yes, so it's $5. Yes, $5.
Hold on, I'm looking at the online image of the box art. Let me see here.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen the art.
I don't know if they're the. I don't know if they're the same box art.
Yeah, he might have the hood up if he's on it and sunglasses. So he's trying to be like the guy that was the clan leader years ago. That had long hair.
So if you look at the movie poster where it's a blue background and it's all the characters on the poster like that and they're all drawn, Chris Jericho is in the top left corner. On the cover of the actual movie, the art. Oh, here, guys. I got a clearer image here.
I don't. You might have to send that one over.
I do not see him on the cover of the other cover. Stan Lee is on the cover.
Wow.
There's like a poster
Stan Lee,
and then there's like the movie cover itself.
Yeah, what's his name? The comic artist that drew Blunt Man and Chronic. He's wearing a Stan Lee shirt on the cover of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's oh shit.
I forget the character's name.
He was in My Name Is Earl.
Yeah, My Name Is Earl.
Brody.
Dude, yeah. Brody. Yeah.
Oh, Brody. Yeah.
Jason Lee.
Lee. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's a great movie. That's a great show, by the way. That was a really I underestimated that show, and then I watched it, and I really, really enjoyed it. That's a really good movie, a good show.
Yeah, we used to watch that actually.
Yeah, my goal right now is I want to binge watch all of Cheers. That's my goals. I want to finish that show.
Yeah, so I don't know. He's not. So Chris Jericho is not on the cover art that we have.
Yeah, he's not on the actual DVD cover art, but he was on the movie poster. Like the movie, I guess the movie poster was all blue, and he's in the upper left-hand corner. I forgot to save it when I pulled it up. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, it was really good. We enjoyed that. I do know we are going to check out the Stephen Amell movie. It is finally on Netflix, Code 8. I don't know if anybody got around to watching that. But we plan on watching that pretty soon. If anybody else is interested in that, him and his cousin Robbie Amell are in it.
Okay.
And are you guys? I know you guys like DC and all. Are you guys Amell fans?
I like Amell. I do not like the Arrow though.
That's weird. You think if you don't like, you would not like him then?
Yeah, I know. I like him as a person. I think he's a cool person. I just didn't like the Arrow show. And let's be honest, I didn't like him as Casey Jones either. He's 0 for 2 for that.
You didn't like him as Casey Jones?
No.
I did not see the Turtles movies, so I cannot. I like the first couple seasons of Arrow. And then the first 2 seasons were really good, and then when they tried to make him Batman, I was like, I'm out of this show. I'm done. Well, that was Batman from the first season.
Yeah.
I liked Arrow, and
they tricked me. I didn't.
I liked Casey Jones.
Yeah, they tricked me for the first season. I didn't realize they were pushing him off as Batman on me, and I fell into it.
I'm interested in seeing his show where he's a wrestler. It's called Heel, I think, or Heel Wrestler or something like that. It's gonna be on HBO.
I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Is that it then, Bree?
I'm trying. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. We're gonna do a quick commercial break, real quick, and just hang on real tight, guys, and we'll be right back.
Do you enjoy true crime? Do you enjoy comedy? Are you yourself a murderer or a murder victim?
If you say yes to even one of those questions, the Murder My Dude may be the podcast for you. Each and every week, we provide a comedic spin on the latest true crime news and a closer look at classic cases, too.
So look up Murder My Dude on Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, Hotbot, Ask Jeeves, or whatever else you would use to find other, lesser podcasts. Subscribe, and then head over to ProjectHumanoid.com to learn more about us.
Or else.
All right, the little murder, my dude. I do have another commercial coming from a podcast very soon, but I didn't get a recording from it yet. But I want to kind of put it out there. Friend of the podcast and somebody that may be in the podcast family member is doing a podcast. It's called Cover Your Tracks. They're gonna do. I messaged Steve and I said, Steve, you should have really got your podcast up and going because it's your exact idea. So I mean, listen, I think they're both great ideas, and I think there's definitely room for both of them. And I think they can do cool crossovers. But it's called Cover Your Tracks, and it's going to be a podcast where Eddie and a guest they're gonna sit there and listen to an album, song by song, and give reviews on lyrics. I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet. Did they actually play the songs?
They play the beginning of the song. I guess just as like, oh, we're listening to it now. Here's us listening to it type of thing. So they'll play like first 15
Do they talk
seconds.
over the songs playing?
No, the song like fades out as they start talking.
Okay, because that's a very fine line. I'm not sure how that works, so I hope it doesn't. It's not something that.
There's a legality thing that they definitely have to.
Yeah. You play so many seconds before you get flagged.
Yeah. I think it's like 15 is the copyright infringed. Yeah.
I do know if you have music playing in the background of a thing and you talk over it, it's like background noise. I know they don't fuck with you with that. For some reason.
There's definitely a weird. It has to do with like if it's recognizable and if you're. Yeah. It's like proper use type deal.
Yeah. So their first album they cover was the Motion City soundtrack album. Which one was it, Billy?
Yep. Commit This to Your Memory, I think.
Yes, and
Commit This to Memory.
Terrain is the first guest. And he's actually going to be his episode is going to be on Interviews with Everyday People this Monday. So he is killing the podcast game right now. He's all over the place. It just worked out perfect that way. I didn't know Eddie was making this podcast. So his first guest is going to be my guest, my guest coming back. That's going to air Monday, and then his podcast is called Alcoholics. So that's a three-way podcast plug right there. So go check out all those podcasts.
That's crazy.
And they're all part of the Anchor podcast family. So. All right, next up on the list is Andy. What are you been into recently?
Hi. So I wasn't on for last time.
Yeah.
And I played many games. I've watched absolutely nothing because wrestling's on break and I can't watch the empty arena shows and I haven't watched anything else. But I did play Resident Evil 2 for PlayStation. And I thought it was phenomenal. It was the first time I played it. I bought it Black Friday and never played it.
A little too quick for me. Little too quick.
Really?
Yeah, I beat it like 4 times in 2 days.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's Resident Evil games are. If you get 7 hours of a game, that's a lot. Out of Resident Evil, except for 4. But I both scenarios. I really enjoyed it. I don't think you could really do much more to make it better, except add more end game stuff. If that makes any sense, like more costumes and stuff. So I beat 2, and then 3 came out, and I got 3, and I beat 3 twice. But the only problem with 3 is it plays the same, except for the defense items. You don't have them anymore. You just, use the grenade. Like if the zombie bites you, you can't put it in their mouth and shoot.
Oh wow!
So it sounds like someone's playing a keyboard there.
Yeah.
So they changed that, and the only thing that sucks about 3 is when you play through again, there's no change in the story. Even if it's just the difficulty, turn up or down. You get points to unlock different items. So I did grind, and I got the rocket launcher, and I tried to play it on hardcore, but the parts when Nemesis chase after you are just so insane. Like you either dodge the rocket launcher or I hit him once and he still comes at me. I'm like, this is too hard. So I beat it. Yeah, so I didn't beat it on hardcore, but that's okay. Yeah. Because then Final Fantasy VII Remake came out and I bought that and I'm about, what the hell is that? Is that me?
No.
Did you hear that? It's anyway, okay. So anyway, Final Fantasy VII Remake came out. I got it the day it came out, and I'm probably about 20 hours into that because I have no wrestling shows.
Is it the full game?
Well, yeah. So what they did is, no, yes and no. So 7 was really long. You put 100 hours in 7 easily. They're breaking into 3 parts, 3 chapters. So this one is just Midgar, which is like the first major metropolis, you could say, the big city they're in. But it is like a full 30-hour game, but it's not all of Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
So like when Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, as dumb as that sound, comes out, that would be like when you escape Midgar and you meet other characters. So in this one, like in the other one, you meet 9 characters, I think it is, and then in this one you only meet 4, I think.
Okay.
So for that join your party. So I mean, there's a lot of the game.
Do you have to buy a whole new game to get the next chapter?
Yes, but it is a full game, so it is another $30 game.
Ooh.
I'm thinking like Mass Effect, like where you can input the save over.
Yeah.
So it's
I mean, that's hard to
ripped off because you're.
Yeah, but that's hard to do as a remake game, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. They said they couldn't put it all on one disc, which I don't believe.
Yeah, but like, how about when you buy Hitman, you get episodes. Like you get 7 episodes of Hitman, but you paid the $60, but you get all 7 episodes. I don't understand why they just couldn't. I don't know. That's just me.
Mean, I think maybe for $60 in the length remade with voice, because the old one didn't have voice.
I mean, 30 hours of gameplay for part 1 is pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I mean,
I also heard it's not entirely like exact. Like I heard it's kind of like a reboot-esque thing, so it's not exactly the same story.
Like the story follows the same for the most part. The only thing I do not like about it is the combat. It was turn-based, which the old school ones, attack, magic, spell, item, whatever. This one is more like Devil May Cry. You can turn it down to easy, and it kind of plays like an auto thing, and you can pause it to select your moves, which I like more.
So it plays like the newest Final Fantasy, the one where you're in the car the whole time. It's where you're actually in control.
Yeah, kind of, but more. But you control the characters a little bit more. Like you would press attack.
That interests me now. I would actually maybe dive into that for that.
You can dodge and guard and stuff, and then press X to do your bring up your menu. And there's quick menus, but I don't like that for Final Fantasy, so I turned it down to classic, which is also like easy mode, but I don't care because I've never played like that. So, but I don't know. Other than the combat, I would give it 9.5. It's awesome.
Wow.
But I do not like the
So
combat.
essentially, it's just like what I've seen, because I've only played Kingdom Hearts and like the Final Fantasy. That was like the new Final Fantasy at the time or whatever. Mm-hmm. It seems like that's the same similar play style. Like it's the same kind. So I think they just kind of like took that core feature and then like added that game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's somebody dropped something.
I dropped my can.
Someone just fell down.
I dropped my beer can.
Goodness.
Saul Rosenberg falling down the steps. Oh God.
Oh God.
Part of bone sticking out. I'm okay, but I'm okay.
Okay.
It's beginning to smell like almonds, which is not a good sign.
Is that good?
Now I'm talking about the Will Ferrell and Austin Powers. I've fallen down the cliff. I'm still alive.
I'm all right now. Yeah. Someone can send some help.
It's beginning to smell a lot like almonds, which is not a good sign. I turned the gain down. I hope that works. I hope that translates.
No,
or it sounds like I'm further away.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hope that worked. I hope that sounded good. Anything else you're into?
No, I was just gonna say Final Fantasy VII remake. I give it an A+. I mean, it's not their fault that I don't like the combat.
Nice.
So, yeah. And then I did get the Steam Pass for Mortal Kombat 11, where you play as Spawn, but I didn't play that yet. So that's up next on my list.
Nice.
I feel like that's a high rating from Andy.
Yeah.
I'm just
that's Andy's.
Mostly what I hear. You're usually very like, oh no, it's not that good.
Yeah, I love
An angry Andy to appeased Andy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, it's not hard. I mean, and Resident Evil 3, I would give that an 8 because it was good, but there's not much replayability unless you want to grind.
Yeah, that's why I'm holding off on that. I was gonna buy it, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till it goes on sale because
I blew through it and Andy blew through it, and he's like, "Well, what's the difference in when you play through again?" I'm like, nothing. So like, that's a game I think it should be $20. Just
30.
But
30.
It also, but it came with this Resistance multiplayer one. I'm like, I'm not even touching that. I don't care. It's bad anyway. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go next here on the list because I have the topic tonight, so I don't want to go back to back and talk the entire time. So it gives me a little bit of break, and I'll let Ben close out this segment.
Whoa.
I obviously I've been playing Call of Duty still and Animal Crossing. Not really much difference in either one. I'm just kind of
what a combo that is.
Yeah, just kind of. Listen, I have video game ADD, so I play like 5 different games at one time. I get really bored, and then I just pop another game in. And then I'm still working on Gears of War 5, but that's a game that I'm playing with a friend, so I only play when he's online. So we got about halfway through Chapter 3 out of Chapter 4. So we're really close to finishing Gears 5. And so far, I absolutely love it. It's been so much fun, and it plays so nice. And it's one of those games where even though it's a game that you play with a friend, it's a game I would definitely play again. Like, it has a really good replay value.
Yeah. Now, who do you play as in that game?
So it changes. You start off as playing as JD, and then you play as what's the other dude's name? His friend. His friend in the game. I forget. But then you start playing as the girl in the game. I'm terrible with video game character names. But then most of the...
remember Marcus Phoenix and Coltrane and Bar.
Yeah, so JD
is
JD is actually Marcus's son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the girl is actually I believe... Is
she the girl's kid? Because they added a girl in
She's
3.
one of the girls in the characters, but she gets taken over by the Hive. She ends up finding out her mother. Yeah, so there's a whole story to it, but it's really, really good. I bought today on sale. I actually got the game and the season pass, which is normally like I think $120. I got it for I think 30 or 40. I got Borderlands 3, the entire collection. So I started playing it. Yeah, I started playing it, and a friend's like, "Hey, just join my game, and I'll power level you." And I played for like 20. I played for like 10 minutes with him. I'm like, what? I'm bored, man. I'm just sitting here at the fucking start while you do the whole stage. This is boring as fuck. So I just like, and then he stepped away for a second. So not only am I waiting for him to finish it, but I'm also sitting there doing nothing. And then Heidi brought food over, so I'm just logging off. So I think when I go back, I'm just gonna play it from the beginning and just kind of do my thing.
Yeah. My friends tried to do that too, and it ruined 2 for me. I'm like, okay, well now I'm level 50 and I don't know anything about the game.
Exactly. Yeah, so that doesn't do anything for me. Like, I don't care. Like, I know I'm going to start the game at level 8, so he didn't power level me too crazy. So I'll start the game at like level 8, and I'll have a lot of money, but that's about it. Like, but I'm going to go back and just play it. I downloaded the Kingdom Hearts collection because that was on sale right now on Xbox, which I did call on this show that the Kingdom Hearts the whole remaster will come to the system. I knew it was going to come. I just knew it was going to take time. But I started a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 1. I got off the island, and now I'm in the first city. I'm not going to lie, man. Once I start seeing some of the story to this game, I was like, this is not going to be my type of game.
Do anything. Watch the Angry Video Game Nerd is chronically confused about Kingdom Hearts timeline, and you'll probably never play the game.
Yeah,
but it's a very enjoyable video.
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts 3, the beginning of that is literally just like connecting all the timelines together, pretty much.
Yeah,
and then like after that part is where I checked out. Like the first, well, you're gonna play it, right? Or you're not
I'm playing it. Yeah, I'm very
Okay,
hesitant.
well,
like I was like, okay, this is. I thought it was a Disney game, and then I'm like, oh, they're gonna sneak Final Fantasy in here on me. And then I was
it's
like,
half and half.
Well,
It's half and half.
yeah,
it ties
It was
in,
not-
but
yeah.
it's not. I don't know. The gameplay, like playing the game, is mainly in the Disney realm. But
Yeah.
like the thing is, like Kingdom Hearts 3 is not a great one to start on, in my opinion. I did not like Kingdom Hearts 3 at all. It's kind of like it goes against the entire series. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were my faves. They were just so good. They were good games. They were on PS2. Like PS2 is a good console for games. Like I don't know. They have a better taste in my mouth than
yeah. Listen, I'm about I just finished the island part, and now I'm on the first city. So a lot of that like Final Fantasy lore that people are probably like, this is so cool, it just goes right over my head, and I don't give a shit. Because I know nothing about Final Fantasy. But so when I'm in the game and I'm starting playing, and like they're doing like just that whole Japanese animation type stuff, I'm just like, I am not gonna be into this at all. But I'm gonna force my way through it because I heard it's a good game. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
But I
love RPGs, but I could not Kingdom Hearts. Probably because I don't give a shit about Disney. So
You're like,
that might have been like,
maybe.
I don't want Donald.
So I'm actually
Final
more
Fantasy
interested in the Disney aspect than the Final Fantasy aspect. So we're like the polar opposites. Yeah. So it's just
I
like
like both, though.
yeah. So it's just like, oh, you're gonna show the Papu fruit with her, and I'm like, I fucking hate this. I hate.
Well, you know
this.
What's funny that dude Sora was never in a Final Fantasy game ever. He was made for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was made specifically for
Well,
that.
doesn't Final Fantasy
Yeah,
every
in this
game
game.
just change up the characters?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
like literally every Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know they're doing the big thing on the Switch where you can like go back and play like Final Fantasy 1 and play all the way through. Like they're putting all the old ones. So I may go back and try that.
One's a little. No, don't. You won't like it. One's a little tough.
Don't do it.
Start at 7.
Start at 7.
What was the one with? So I watched a friend play a game. What's the one with the character Vivi, where it's like a little mage dude with the yellow eyes? 9.
That's 9.
That
9
one
was a throwback to the old school, so that was pretty easy to play.
Okay.
But I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, 9 looked interesting when I was watching it being played, but I don't know. I have a hard time with that Japanese animation stuff. So yeah, then there were the games I'm kind of playing there, and then I downloaded a game because it was free on Game Pass, and it interests me. So I always like the idea of No Man's Sky, where you're kind of on a planet and you have to rediscover everything because it's brand new to you, and kind of exploring, and you don't know what's gonna happen. Like I kind of like that thing. Like I don't know, and like building and crafting and figuring things out. That's I eat that shit up. So I always liked No Man's Sky, even when it was a bugged out game. But that game has updated so much now, and it's so much fun. But there's this game out now. It's free on Game Pass. It's called Journey to Savage Planet, and it's like the campy version of No Man's Sky. So when you start, it's this really telemarketer dude who's like, "Thank you for joining up to the." It's kind of like it's just really wacky and funny. But it's like you volunteer to be a space astronaut, get dropped on a planet, and the guy's like, "Hey, just find all this cool stuff for us." And like then you get there and you find out there's life on your planet and there's not supposed to be. And he's like, "Can you go figure out what's going on here?" Like it's really campy and stupid and funny, but there's actually a story to it. So it's No Man's Sky with humor and also a story that like where people talk to you.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's really really fun. Like I'm having a good time with it.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's
I just
fine,
looked at the pictures and I was like, oh my god, this game looks like so beautiful, like the creatures and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
dope. It's a
of,
lot of fun. I'm having a good time with it.
awesome.
And it was like I said, if you have Game Pass on Xbox, it's completely free. I don't know what it costs to just get the game, but I've been playing it and it's been really, really good. Like I'm kind like it's first person.
I was gonna ask if it's multiplayer.
I think so.
Oh yeah, I see here co-op. Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. So
That looks awesome.
I think that's like my sleeper game of the week. So I'm going to play that a lot more of that. I think like it's going to be
And what's it called again?
Journey to the Savage Planet.
Oh, I never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exclusive to systems. I don't know the whole deal to it, but it's really really fun. So I think I'm going to play.
PS4 and Xbox.
Oh, there you go. It's both systems. So I think I'm going to play that when I'm not playing Animal Crossings or when friends aren't on. Sorry, there was a weird hum in the background. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the fire alarm is going off or what's going on.
The fire alarm is going off.
Is that what it is?
Me.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Ben. We're Ben's in the same town with me now, so we can hear the same stuff like that. Yeah, there it goes. I hear it now.
Good thing it isn't the St. Clair one. It sounds like an air raid. It's like,
that's what the Fractal one is too. It sounds like old school, like run to your bomb shelter siren.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the end of the world. Ah!
Yeah, and not to get into it, but like nowadays, can't all the firefighters just have like an app and they would just like
they
fire,
do. They have a speaker.
Overlap.
Yeah, they have a speaker.
Why do they do that?
No
like,
idea. It's still kind of hooked up to the same system. The old school things where it goes boo. That's all on it. So like old school firefighters would be able to listen to that bell, right? So that tone of how long it rings before you hear the next tone, and old firefighters would be able to hear that tone and be like, okay, that's 2nd Street. This it's like Morse code. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
But then like the old pagers would go like beep 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 beep, and they'd be like, my dad would be able to hear those tones and just be like, oh shit, there's a fire on Center Street. It's on the 400 block, and it's on the west. It's on the left side. It's on the left hand side. And he would get in his truck and drive away. And I'm like, how did you get that out of those beeps? Like and then my dad would be like, then my dad would listen to it and he'd be like, okay, that's Pottsville, 3rd Street, 2nd alarm fire. They need station 454.
Like Morse code.
Yeah, like he would hear those tones and can tell you every single town and department in the county by those beeps. It would blow my mind.
That's nutty.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
You know what makes it even nuttier? They're volunteers.
Yeah,
they should be paid for that. They should be paid for that.
Dude,
like,
that's like
I
don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there's one of my, I think of like my 3rd or 4th episode on the podcast, I actually interviewed my dad and we talked about his firefighter services. There's no, like, I can't go to a town on the East Coast and walk into a fire department and people probably don't know my dad's name. It's kind of crazy. But like he was when George Bush Jr. was in office, my dad met him and got a presidential award for volunteer services.
What?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's
good for him.
If you're into the interviews podcast, go check. I know the quality's not the greatest because it was like one of my 3rd episodes I've ever did, and my microphones were garbage. But it's definitely a good story. Like you hear a lot of really crazy stories and stuff that like growing up with your father as a volunteer firefighter, like. He missed a lot of stuff with the family because he was he would run away from his family to go run into someone's house to try to save them. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really weird thing to think about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of nutty. Like, he would leave his home at 3:30 in the morning on the drop of a dime, wake up in the middle of the night to go run into a burning building to save a complete stranger that he can die and leave his family behind. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, it's a very noble thing. Like, it's I don't know. I really give a lot of respect to volunteer firefighters. But getting past that, I did watch some things. One thing I didn't finish, but 2 movies I did. So I watched the movie Playing with Fire, which is a movie about these wildlife firefighters who find these children, and these children destroy their firehouse. And it's starred by John Cena.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
If you are not watching it with children, you are probably not going to like it. The entire time watching this, I was probably like Nikki Bella. If Nikki Bella watched that movie, she was screaming her head off because it was everything that she wanted John Cena to be, and he was this person in the movie, like where he didn't want kids, and all of a sudden he's like, "I'll take these strange kids." You know what I mean? Like, but it's a very family friendly movie. It has Keenan, I think it's Keenan Peele. I don't want to say the skinnier one, but the one that looks like.
Go ahead, Keegan-Michael Key or something like that.
Not the Twilight Zone one, the other one.
Not Jordan Peele.
Keenan.
Yeah.
All right, so I got it right.
Keegan-Michael Key, he was right.
John Leguizamo, or whatever how you say his name, he's in it.
Leguizamo.
Yeah.
It has a really good cast. I'm not gonna lie, the cast is good, and there is like funny stuff, but it's like PG-13. Not even PG-13. It's like fucking really kiddie. It's really kiddie humor, but it's entertaining. Like, it's entertaining, but I wouldn't go out of your way to watch it. Like, if it's there, maybe give it a look. But it's really just, it's a very kids movie. It's like The Pacifier. It's like the Babysitter movie with Triple. Yeah, it's like those lines with John Cena. Yeah. And then I watched Birds of Prey. I'm not calling it the Harley Quinn movie. It was called Birds of Prey.
They just call it the Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah,
that's what I call it.
I know this movie got a lot of shit, and I'm going to start off by saying the reason I think this movie got a lot of shit is because it's a girl power movie. It's a movie where it's all girl cast, and the girls are in charge, and the girls are the badasses, and for some reason in our society, that's not cool. And
there's a lot of dudes that cannot handle that. They cannot handle Wonder Woman. They cannot handle Captain Marvel.
Yes.
They're like, Black Widow, I'm watching that. It's like,
I'm going to be honest.
So annoying.
You don't want to see a girl kick ass, but I guess you want to have sex with a girl, though, don't you?
Exactly.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
I'm going to be completely honest.
Critical.
I fucking loved this movie. This movie
intense.
This movie is fantastic. Margot Robbie kills it as Harley Quinn. I don't know the girl who plays Black Canary, but when I started watching, I'm like, oh, they made Black Canary black. That's kind of strange. But the girl who plays Black Canary is... I felt bad for Heidi because the whole time we're watching, I'm like, why is it every time she's on camera she gets more attractive? She's just a really she's just like stunning. Like she's kind of like the girl
she
from.
Must be if you're saying that next and she's standing next to Margot Robbie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She made Margot Robbie look. Now, obviously, I have a thing for girls with a little bit darker skin. I like a little pigment. You know what I mean? I like my turkey on the darker side, and my kielbasi. So you know what I mean? So I have a preference. I have a preference. But she was just stunning. Like and it was crazy. Like. And then it's just like it's a DC Universe movie, but it is also a DC Universe movie that is rated R. So this is not for the full family, which is kind of like our podcast. But if I wouldn't watch it with kids around because there is cursing and drug use and everything.
There's intense scenes, dude. There's scenes where I was like, "What? Oh god!" Like,
so the best way
I'm not gonna like.
Yeah. So like the best way to describe it is like when you watch John Wick. And he's like in hand-to-hand combat, and he does something to somebody that like really, really hurts them, like breaks their arm or breaks a limb, and you go, "Ooh!" This movie has all of that. The fight scenes in this movie are unbelievable. They're done so well, like they're a badass. Yeah. The one girl, I forget the character's name, but she's like a pickpocket. If I'm not mistaken, in the comic, I believe she was a good guy in the comic, but they kind of turned her anti-hero.
Is her name Stephanie Brown?
Yes, she's like a pickpocket girl. Yeah, so she becomes friends with
Is she blonde?
No, she's actually played by.
I didn't see the movie.
She's played by an Asian girl in this one.
Oh, is that? Does she not talk?
She does, but very little. She kind of.
Oh, okay. That's Sandra Kane. She becomes Batgirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So Harley Quinn's hanging out with pretty much the start of Batgirl. That's exactly what it was. I couldn't put it together, but yeah, you helped me out with that. And then I don't know if you guys seen Cloverfield Lane. 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's a great movie, but the girl from Cloverfield Lane who's locked in the storms thing with John Goodman, that girl plays Huntress. Yes.
Helena Bertinelli.
But the whole time they call her the crossbow killer, and she's like, there's a lot of humor to it. It's really funny. Like, she's like, the whole time she's trying to work on her, they call me Huntress, and like no one, like,
no, we call you the crossbow.
And they're like, no, we were calling you the crossbow killer, and she's like, fuck you guys, I'm fucking Huntress. Like, they're like, oh, that's a cool name.
Did you think that Harley was that she was doing the Harley voice a little bit more in this one? Because that's what I got. Just watching the trailer.
I think she did. I think she did a Harley voice, but I still think she kept it her. Like, she didn't try to mimic Harley from the cartoon, and she didn't try to mimic.
Definitely.
She didn't try to be the animated Harley. She kind of did her own. Like her own Margot Robbie New York style.
More Harley-ish.
Yeah, I know a lot of people hated it because they're like, "Oh, she did this stupid New York accent." I just think it fits her style of Harley. Like, no one cares when Christian Bale talked like he had throat cancer. Like, no one has an issue with that. But Margot Robbie does.
I didn't like that at all.
I hated it. I thought it was stupid. But Margot Robbie does her own interpretation of the voice of Harley, and I think it fits her character. I think it's cool.
You know what's cool about it though? Like, I'm just seeing this now. She actually produced the film too. Like,
really?
She was a co-producer apparently. Yeah, Margot Robbie, Brian Unkless, and Sue Kroll were producers.
Oh wow! And
yeah, I did not know that.
And they brought back an actress from the '90s who was a motherfucking badass as an actress, and they brought her back as
The Question, Renee Montoya.
Yes. And she was it Rosie Perez? Oh, how do you say?
Yes.
Yeah, Rosie.
Yeah, you got it.
She is dope as hell in the movie. Like every female character in this movie is dope. But listen, to help the guys out a little bit, you're probably not going to like this because if you're anti-female, you're not going to be pro-gay because Black Mask is kind of he's played by he's gay. Black Mask is gay in this role. But the actor who plays Black Mask does this psychotic, I'm cool, but then I snap at at a moment's notice character so fucking well, so well.
Yes.
And then I didn't realize until halfway through the movie his sidekick, would they kind of hint that maybe his partner is Victor Zsasz, but Victor Zsasz has a different look. Like, he's not bald in this one, but the guy who plays Victor Zsasz was dope as shit too. Like, they were both done really, really well. Harley does not.
I was more afraid of him.
Yeah, because he was like he was so smart that he was actually manipulating Black Mask's craziness, which was kind of because he was wild as hell. They do hint at Heath Ledger's Joker, so we may get him back in another interpretation of the movie, which I would be excited for because I want to see him have more screen time. Because the way they made him, his presence of his character without even him being there, seemed cool. Like, he fucking run that town to the point where Harley, when she openly said I'm no longer with Joker, they were like, cool, we are going to kill Harley Quinn now because she's fair game. Like, they didn't touch her because they were afraid of the Joker. So they kind of made that dichotomy of that character cool again, which would make me want to see him don that character maybe again in the future.
You mean
Jared Leto?
Not Heath Ledger, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto's Joker.
I was gonna say.
Did I say Heath Ledger?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't know.
I apologize. Like, yeah, I didn't.
I don't think he's coming back.
No, he's not. He's not returning his role. But Heath Ledger, if Heath Ledger didn't pass away and Brittany Murphy didn't pass away, that would have been my Harley and Joker would have been fantastic. I always thought Brittany Murphy would have been a great Harley Quinn. But yeah, so Birds of Prey, it might be my favorite DC movie. I just thought it was done really, really well. The fight scenes were cool. It was very humorous. Like, there was not one time in the movie where I was like, this is becoming boring. Like, it was just entertaining the entire time.
Entertained.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very long, was it?
No.
Like an hour and a half?
It went quick. It went quick, but it was good.
Okay, good. Because like Aquaman, that was too long.
Yeah, a lot of old school comic book references. Some throwbacks from Suicide Squad were in there. Some like little Easter egg throwbacks of Suicide Squad. Some old school comic book hints were in there. Trying to think of some other cool things that can that would spark you. Oh, some animated series stuff is in there. We see it in the trailer. She has a pet hyena. She doesn't have two. She just has one.
Yes.
And his name is Bruce.
Oh, okay.
His name is Bruce because of that hunk Bruce Wayne. And then there's a little bit of an end credit sequence thing, but it kind of leaves it very vague. They made it seem like it's this big revolutionary thing, and it's really not. Like I'll kind of spoil it. It's nothing that's going to ruin the movie for you. But at the very end, Harley says, I have a really big secret about Bruce Wayne, or I have a really big secret about Batman, and then it cuts away. So it's kind of like, well, what does she know? So it kind of gives you like, you want the next version of her movie. Man, I'm going to be honest, man. I really want the Ben Affleck Batman with her. I really want the Jared Leto back. Like, I just really hope the fans.
I don't think you're getting that one.
I know, man. It sucks so bad because I want that all back, because I thought that universe that they were building is like the Zack Snyder universe. I don't know, man. I want it so bad. I want it, but I don't think I'm ever going to get it again. But yeah, that was really good. So then I went and I got a new subscription service, guys. I got the DC Universe subscription service.
I told you no. I told you.
All right, so here's the thing.
Hey, watch it for a month. Watch everything you want, and then cancel.
Here's the thing. I can go and watch all the Justice League on Ultimate. I can watch Batman Beyond. I can watch Batman animated series. I can watch
Justice League Unlimited is fantastic.
I can watch almost all of the animated DC Universe movies, which are amazing. Yeah. Not many of the live action ones are on there, which I think is kind of strange.
That's what I thought was weird.
Yeah, and I can, and not only that is I can go on my phone or a tablet, and I can read almost all of the Rebirth and New 52 comics, almost the entire runs on this.
I think
app.
they're up to 6 months behind whatever came out.
Yeah, but I mean,
comics are taking a break right now.
If I really wanted to get caught up, like on older ones, it's on that app. Like so if you're a comic book reader, but you don't maybe have the money to go buy a comic book or get that subscription, or you don't have a comic book around you, a comic book station around you, or you don't drive or anything, I think this app is kind of cool in that way. Like you can read old ones, like you could read old runs of different like comic book runs and DC characters. Really, really good. The new Harley animated series is on there. I did not watch that yet because I'm 4 episodes into a show that I shouldn't have started watching because it makes me more depressed that it's no longer ever going to happen. I started watching Swamp Thing.
Dude.
Holy shit! I'm 4 episodes in. It's so fucking good. It's so good.
It's really good. It's really good.
Dude,
it's like
I think they can that. This season wasn't even done yet, and they canceled it. Like what?
I read online the reason they
weird?
canceled it is because the sets and where everything was down south would have cost them a lot of money to keep, and they didn't think it was worth. Like they didn't think it was getting enough views, and they didn't think enough people were going to be into it to keep the cost. So I hope it's one of those things where people like clamor to it and give it an actual shot. Or maybe what I would do, man, is I know they have their streaming service, but I would be like, yo, throw the bone to Netflix and put it on Netflix just to let people see it. And then be like, hey, what you want this back? Because they did their own interpretation of his origin story. Like they kind of took liberties a little bit, but kind of they took, because he has 3 different origin stories, Swamp Thing, and they kind of took a little bit of each one and then made their own on top of it. But it's done real. Like he looks fantastic.
What's cool? I don't know if you got this feeling, because I know that you're kind of like a B horror fan too, but like
yes,
the practical effects in this show, like it felt like a B horror movie, but done like by a good production company. Like I don't know how to explain. It felt like a really well done B horror movie.
Yeah, there's not many scenes in it. There's not many set locations. There's not many different locations they go to. It's probably 4 or 5 different sets within 4 episodes, but it does kind of have a B horror rated for me. I mean, there's blood and guts. You're gonna see blood. You're gonna see guts. You're gonna hear. It's definitely adult themed, which is another reason why I lean more towards DC. But like Swamp Thing, they didn't cut corners on the way he looks. He looks awesome. Yeah. Like, and he's scary the first time you see him. You're like, holy fuck, this dude's kind of scary. Like it's
the scene where he comes out. Like I wanted to stop watching because you're in the swamp and you're like the ocean, like the water. Like I was like, I don't want to watch it.
it was dope, man. It's a really fun show. But that's all I kind of did this week. I know I crammed a lot in there. Ben, what have you been into? All right, Ben, bore us what you're into right now. All right, guys, here's this one thing that happens, and then when it happens, this happens.
Ben doesn't like Swamp Thing, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I can certainly tell you that I have been playing Animal Crossing, and in the meantime, I picked up 2 blue marlins while we were talking.
Good job.
I thought you were talking about beer. I'm like, oh.
No!
See, that's how great he is at describing things.
Beer? Yeah.
But
My fish is not good tonight.
all right, real quick, Ben.
I was kicking ass and fishing today.
Real fast,
but,
real fast.
I
Remember that one time I said we were going to do Animal Crossing in its own segment? So what have you been into besides Animal Crossing?
I know, I get it, but I'm gonna diversify. Hey, get out, cut your crap.
Besides Animal Crossing, I was playing Animal Crossing.
I did play, since I went over to my parents' house a little bit today, I got to play Kirby's Adventure 3 for the Super Nintendo on the Switch Lite, and a little bit different. It's a little bit more kiddie, like crayon book, cartoony type a deal. It's a little bit of an older game, but you kind of still have like your rideable animals in it then too, which was pretty cool. And you still have like still have the different abilities. I got like the cutter and the electric ability then too. And I picked Rick the cat, I think it might have been. No, the cat.
He's a mouse.
But, yeah, the Rick is a hamster. Rick's the hamster. Yeah, I totally forgot. I forgot about that. But then I watched a little bit of. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It was called Masked Rider in Japan. Well, in the United States, but it's called Kamen Rider. I tried to getting into that.
Well, that's an old
one. What is that going on?
I don't know. Is that me?
I think when you guys were talking over each other, it was getting a little funky.
It sounded like
It sounded like a TV show was like going into the
I didn't hear that.
I'm not listening to anything. I'm just gonna drop off real quick and come back though.
Go ahead, Ben.
But I did watch Kamen Rider for a little bit on the one site, Verve, and it's made in the late 70s, early 80s, so it's definitely not a bad show. I really wanted to get into it because I remember the Masked Rider being on like Fox Kids in the 90s. They were trying to do stuff with that. I wrapped up My Hero Academia, the final episode for season 4, and spoiler alert, they're coming out with season 5. So if you're into that, a lot of good stuff coming your way on that. And what else? Nothing really otherwise. I did try getting my record player and my cassette player going at the house, so I wanted to listen to some records that I've had. So I want to get really back into that thing too, especially with the quarantine and all. So I want to have some background noise. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but I'll probably be really stacking up on shows pretty soon. So shows, movies, and what have you then. So that's what I've been doing for the most part.
Cool. We're gonna do a. So we're at like an hour and 45 minutes. So I don't think we're gonna go too long with Animal Crossing. More like just kind of talk a little bit about our group and what we've been working on in Animal Crossing as a team. But before we get into that, so I think what we're gonna do is, because we are getting a little later in the show, I think I'm gonna nix the topic for tonight. So we're not gonna do the topic.
Okay.
So we're just gonna take a quick break. We're gonna play a commercial, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about our Animal Crossing team up.
Hey, this is Jackson Wells. You know me from Murder, My Dude, but you may not know that I have a new nostalgia podcast. Talking Back is my new podcast, where I'll talk about everything from bikes to trains to, well, you get it. We're going to be talking classic toys, cartoons, wrestling, games, and more. And it's not just me. I'll have a new guest on each week to reminisce about their childhood favorites. Make sure to visit ProjectHumanoid.com to figure out more about guests, the premiere date, and other information. And follow Talkin' Back Pod on Instagram as well. That's TalkinBackPod on Instagram.
All right. Now, kind of piggyback on Talking Back of a new podcast coming out from the guys from Murder, My Dude. I'm a psychopathic idiot and I'm starting the 5th podcast on the network again. So I have I have a 5th show coming out. It's only going to be a seasonal show. So it's only going to be for a couple weeks, we'll say, for first season. It may not even happen because I don't know the state of the country. But me and a friend are going to do a podcast about the Washington Redskins. So we're going to follow the Washington Redskins this football season. Talk about the ups and downs. Spoiler alert: if you're a Redskins fans, there's a lot of downs. So we're going to have a lot of humor when it comes to the season. We're going to start with the NFL draft. Well, we're going to start with a little pre-show that we're going to do probably in a couple of days here, and then we'll start about the draft, and maybe it'll be a weekly thing. Kind of talking about what we expect for the season, what we want. Talk about a little bit of last season, and then get into the full season hopefully by that time, and get everything going. It's going to be called. So Redskins have a lot of different slangs and stuff. So if you are a football fan or a fan of the Washington Redskins, some of this stuff may ring true to you. But we have the show coming, and it's called Bros on the Warpath. So during the Redskins fight song, it's called Braves on the Warpath, and it says Fight for Old DC. So our show is called Bros on the Warpath. And it's going to say, have a flight for old DC, because to be a Redskins fan, you need a drink. So that's what we're going to kind of go through and kind of have some humor there and cover the Redskins season. So that's going to come to the network really soon. I still think Steve has a show coming very soon, so we will have another show coming to the podcast network really soon. And if anyone is listening and they want to start a podcast, but they don't want to go start their own network and maybe have a group of people who already listen to this network and kind of jump in on that, we are taking other people. So if you want to start a podcast and jump in on the IWEP network, we are open to that as well. And I can help you with merch.
Who are you doing the Redskin podcast with?
Oh, my friend Tony. We're gonna
Tony.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Tony.
Is it Tony talking?
Tony and Tony.
Tony's on football.
Tony Tambasco.
We have a name. He sounds like a football player.
Yeah, so we have a really not weird, but we have a very interesting story of how we became to know each other, because there is an age gap with us. So I think we're going to cover that in the first episode. But to kind of give a little nutshell thing, when I was really really young, we moved from Shenandoah to Monty City, and during that move, we had a husky that we didn't know if we were going to be able to bring with us. And I think at the time my dad wasn't a big fan of having a dog. So my dad found a home for our husky, and Tony and his mother took in our husky, and then the husky pretty much lived out the rest of its life with them. But we used to go visit Tony when I was very young, so I can still see my dog. So it's like it was a weird little and then like once our dog passed away, we really didn't go there and hang out anymore. But I just remember being like, he had like he had a whole downstairs basement, which was like a Redskins man cave, and I was just like, this is the coolest place on earth because I like the Redskins too. But once the dog passed away, it was like we lost that connection, and I was older and the age gap was there. But we were at a bar one night, and he's like, "Yo, are you?" And we started talking, and then we became Facebook friends. And during our live stream is when this whole idea came up. So it's kind of cool. All right. So we're going to go into Animal Crossing here. Now, with this Animal Crossing, if you are listening to this and you are a fan of Animal Crossing or you want to get into Animal Crossing, we do have a private Facebook Messenger group. We don't have a page or anything because I think that's too much. We don't really need that. I think the Facebook messaging thing is enough. But if you want to join us and join our Facebook Messenger group, just send me a message or send a message to anyone on the podcast or the podcast page and let us know. Now, the big thing is don't come into our Messenger and be a scumbag because you will get kicked immediately. We have a really good thing where people are awesome with each other and work together, and it's not only just people on the podcast, but it's like some of our own family members are in this. Like my mother's in it. I know Bree's sister's in there. Like there's like family in here, and it's really really cool how like people who never met before are playing this Nintendo Switch game together, and we're working with each other, and we're helping each other get good turnip prices and helping each other get items we need, and it's just been a really cool environment that we have, and I think it's been really helping us get into the game that we want to play.
It's a very good group overall.
Yeah, it's fun.
For health.
Yeah. So someone for the first time ever playing Animal Crossing, I think this little group we have has been fun. And the cool thing we do too is if like one of us are going to another person's island, I know me and my brother do it a lot, or me and my mom do it. We'll just like make a side one, like we'll just send a message and then do like what we're doing now with the podcast. We just hit Facebook call, and then we just sit there and talk to each other while we're playing on each other's island.
My friend Erica and I, who I added Erica into the group, we do that a lot too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a good way to keep in contact with each other. I know someone was just invited today and they already left. I don't want to put them out. But I don't know who they were, but they didn't last very long in the group chat. I think they were just kind of.
There was some dude I seen today, James something.
James Barrett.
I didn't know him.
That's my cousin Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's his whole family. And then Timothy Mingle, who is a local artist who's been on the podcast a couple times. Him and his girlfriend play, so they're now in the group and.
Some gen girl I seen.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So what has been new with some of our people? Well, we'll start with Bree. But what's been new with your town? Because I think you put the most hours in out of everybody. What has been new with your town? What are some of your goals? Who are some people that you have on your island?
Oh, okay. So the people I have on my island, I have Judy, a bear. I have Gonzo, a koala bear. I have Stew, a bull. I have Piper, a bird. I have Eunice, a
Piper,
sheep.
is she a pelican breed? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, that's who she is.
Okay.
Yeah, I have her. I have Bunny, a bunny. And then I have
that's creative name.
a bunny. I have Ken, a rooster. I have Bertha, a hippo. Trying to think if that's everybody. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh, Iggly, a penguin. I think that's everybody. The goals for my island, I just want to make, I would like to currently have as many of the hybrid flowers as I can. I try to just make it look like a really pretty island. I just put the paths down on my island. I'd like to fence it up. If I do the terraforming, I might do my own design, or I might try to make it look like either Pallet Town from Pokemon, or I might do like Hyrule. I'm not sure.
Cool.
As a lifelong Zelda fan, because I know there's templates out there that you could do that. And I'd like to finish my house eventually, but I'm really just working on like bridges, inclines, and the flowers, and like fencing in my town.
Nice.
So that's what I'm doing. I also would like to have as many cute outfits as possible. I'm a very big decorator. So,
what the hell's going on? I'm sorry, my phone's bugging out. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's okay. That's okay. So I'd like to, my house, each room in my house has a different theme. So, and I like to do like nature themes. I'd like my next room to be a spa. So if anybody has like really cool spa furniture ideas, send them my way. That'd be a lot of fun.
I have
cool.
have like a spa tub. Like it's a tub that like steam comes out of it.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'll get one made for you.
Oh, okay, thank you. That'd be really nice. So any fun ideas that someone could send my way, that would be cool. That's my next idea. I never had a spa room before, but I think I'll put one in. So yeah, I'm really big on like decorating and that kind of thing.
Nice. So I'm more of I think I'm more of the type of player right now that's I don't really decorate too much, but I think that's starting to change because now I need to get certain points done. So I don't really know exactly how I'm going to accomplish a lot of that, but that's what I'm trying to do now is just trying to get a lot of that that's that kind of stuff done where I can get my star rating up because I need to get the what the hell is the guy's name? KK on the island.
KK Slider.
I don't know my characters' names except the newest one I got. Well, not the newest because remember I don't know if Bree was on my island a couple months ago. I built a whole bunch of houses, so they just start saying sold, and I didn't realize that people were joining. So I have Cherry, which is like a punk rock metal emo
I love
dog.
Her.
Yeah, she's really cool.
So
I have a giant bull. I don't know his name though. I think his name is like T-Bone or something like that.
Oh.
And then I got a pelican armadillo thing. It's like a giant bird, but she's like rude. She's like, she pretty much told me she's here to start shit. Like she's like, I don't
do. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Very
that.
dramatic.
Yeah, I don't know the character's name, but I'll definitely find out so I can let you guys know. But she like literally said like I'm a sassy character, and I'm gonna come and fucking I'm gonna stir shit up on this island. I was like, yo, you start shit, bitch, I will kick you out of Gotham. You're
just like,
don't start none, there won't be none.
Building your, you started building your wrestling ring.
I did.
She just comes out up from underneath the ring, and she's like, "I'm here to start."
I'm here to fuck shit up.
Money for your town that way.
Hilarious.
Yeah, she's here to. She's like, yeah, I'm here to just be a problem in your town.
You're your wrestling star.
Yeah, so that's the thing I want to start working on. I have my wrestling ring, so I want to. I'm looking for things I can do to make my one little section. I have like a park built, but the park's not staying there. It's just there to get my rating up. But once my rating goes up, that's all going away, and then I'm gonna do what I want to do. But if you guys have anything that would look good as a wrestling arena, that's kind of what I'm going for now too. I am missing one corner. I need the blue corner for my arena, but once I get that, I'm actually going to send Andy a copy of every other corner so he can have the same thing. My character walks around in a luchador mask.
I saw that.
Yeah, and then I found the luchador. I found the luchador outfit too, and I found like a different color variant. So I have one that kind of looks like Wonder Woman gear, and I have it in my thing for Andy. So I'll definitely have that sent over to you soon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it looks like wrestling gear.
If I wasn't disgusted at the game.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually got a red corner while I was playing while you guys were talking, and I ended up getting that. So
I need the blue corner. I have red. I have red and neutral. I need blue. That's what I need.
Yeah, I'm like, it's pretty wild though, regardless.
Yeah, it's really fun. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on my island. And I'm sitting on about $1.5 million worth of turnips. So I'm just waiting for someone's island or my island to get a nice bump of where they sell for more than 100 a piece, so I can have a lot of money in the game, and I'm going to be the $1 million man.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to figure out now. We're trying to figure out what day works best for we're trying to see if there's like a day trick, or I read something online where Wednesday after the afternoon, like your prices during the morning are different than your prices at the afternoon. So I was told that at 8 o'clock, the last hour of your store being open is when your prices are the best, and it's Wednesday night after 8 o'clock is supposedly your peak time. But then I know your sister found something that said Thursday night after 8 o'clock is prime. So we're gonna try to figure out exactly which one works, and go from there. And
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't want to cut you off. Did you see that she sent 4 charts and that each town can match those 4 charts?
Yes.
That's why you want to track.
Mm-hmm.
Is why you want to track your sales. That is in the that's in there too. So you want to kind of figure out which chart matches your town sales. I haven't noticed, by the way, I just want to throw this out there. I haven't noticed, because I did check at 8 o'clock today. My turnip sales didn't change. They were still the same from this afternoon. So I don't know that they changed at 8 o'clock. I think that the afternoon, and I did it again. I did it yesterday too, and I'll keep doing it this week. But I noticed that once you get your afternoon price for the turnip, they stay the same.
Okay.
Like they don't change at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So whatever your afternoon price is, it's going to stay the same at night.
All right.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. I did see another thing when it comes to trying to a money making thing for the game, that some people are finding that there's certain days where your trees are more fertile and they can make you more money.
Oh, I did not. How, like if you shake them?
No, like so when you have that golden spot on the ground, there's certain days where if you put money in your thing, there's certain days where it only will max out at a 10,000 bells. So if you put 99,000 bells in your spot, you're only getting 10,000 bells. So you're eating a huge loss.
Oh.
No.
And then
That's a shame.
there's another thing I seen where you have to kind of, it's like a risk and reward thing. You got to be willing to kind of eat a loss to find out which day your island's at. Where it kind of will turn around and say, okay, today you buried 99 bells and you got back 10,000, and then you did it this day and you got back 999,000 bells from your tree. So you got to kind of find out which day works best for you.
That's weird. I thought it was just like a multiple of like if you put in 1,000, you get 3,000.
Yeah, they're supposed.
You get the 3.
Yeah, you definitely there is a day where or a day or two a week where your tree is a little more fertile than another day, but you have to kind of find out what day your island is on. Like I guess there's different formats of how that works, but yeah. I watched that. I seen that on Austin John Plays. Yeah. But does anyone else have anything to add? I mean, we just hit the 2-hour mark. I don't want to go too long. Does anything have anything else to add about Animal Crossing or anything they want to add before we get out of here?
I suck at it. That's I'm horrible at this game. I only have 3 people on my island right now, 3 villagers.
All right, so
this one person that just moved in.
Pro tip: this is where I was going wrong. If you want more people on your island, you have to go to Nook and tell him that you want to buy space on your land. So then when you buy the space on your land for 10,000 bells, you build a new house location, then someone joins your... I did not know that either. I found that out the hard way.
So you mean I have to spend more money?
You have to spend money...
That's why I got...
You have to spend money to get people to be on your island. Yes.
First you pay for the house, and then you pay for the upgrade.
And then you pay the loan off, and then you have to get another loan, and then you pay that loan off.
It's like real life, but it doesn't affect you in the worst way possible.
It's not quite like that. You don't have to pay off loans. You just have to buy like space for a marker, like a one-time fee, and you just put down the marker, and then you get money back in miles.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to
I just
take out
unlocked the
loans.
customization workshop thing, so I just built my first wardrobe.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And this is different. You usually don't do that in Animal Crossing. You usually don't have to buy their house space or pay for their houses. This is the first time you have to do that because you're building up an island. It's like you're building a whole new town. That's why this game is designed that way, whereas past Animal Crossing games, it wasn't like that. People just moved in. It's because you're a resident representative and you're kind of like a partner with Tom, but not really, because you don't get paid.
Sense.
Yeah, so that's the design of this particular Animal Crossing game, whereas other Animal Crossing games were different. Everyone is a little different. You have like a different storyline, so to speak. So that's why you have to build it yourself. And the success of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp on your phones, which is a free game if anybody wants to download it and play it, it's also fun. That was successful because it was like you're living on an island, you're camping, and there's a lot of do-it-yourself recipes in there too. So they incorporated that into this game because a lot of people liked it. That was never a part of Animal Crossing games either. I don't know how many other people. Ben has played it for a lot with me. Not with me, but in the past, he's like a veteran Animal Crossing player. But this game is very, very different than other ones. I don't know if anybody else here has played it before besides us.
No,
essentially,
this is my first time.
Like essentially, when you're doing like with the fishing and shoveling and like the nets, like when you fish with like a goldenrod, you get better fish.
That's not the case in this one anymore.
Right. This is like not really a free for all, but it's like it's literally randomized when it comes to that. So
well, it's randomized, but it's also kind of not randomized because depending on you can kind of learn by the size of the fish and the shadow, so you kind of have an idea of what you're gonna possibly catch.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's a fucking egg.
Unless it's an egg, yeah.
But you don't have to worry about the eggs anymore.
Yeah,
you have to worry about tires or
they're gone.
Yeah.
And here's my Animal Crossing villager using my furniture, by the way. I just want to point that out here. I'm going to take a picture for you guys next time. Somebody was complaining earlier that they don't use their furniture. My villagers use my furniture all the time. So I just want to throw that out there.
All right, well, we'll end it on that note. So like I said, if you guys want to play Animal Crossing with us, just send us a message. We'll see you guys next Wednesday, and until then, stay nerdy, and we'll see you guys on the other side. So here's some Look Alive, and we'll see you next week.